Hey, what's going on, world? It's your boy Sean Handy, better known as Keisha's husband, and this is the 6th episode of the Keisha's Husband podcast. And I got an amazing guest right here, and you're gonna get to know him, you're gonna get to see him, we're gonna hear from him. But before we move any further, let me just give honor and glory to the biggest homie through prayer. All right. Hey, Father God, I just want to say thank you for this moment. I thank you for allowing my guests to get here safely. Thank you for allowing us to get here safely. I thank you just for allowing this moment to happen. And God, I just thank you for bringing me to this window, to this door, to this opportunity to just be a vessel, to just be a listening ear, and to just give flowers to my brother, somebody that's been like a mentor to me, and somebody that you brought in my life. I thank you for this conversation, and I surrender right now anything that's selfish, anything that's self-seeking, and anything that's not like you, God. Any questions, anything that I have planned, God, I ask that you bless it, and I just ask that you take control of the room in this space. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen, amen.
Hey, what's going on, man? Listen, welcome,
Yes, sir.
welcome back. You know what I mean? Welcome back to the 6th episode of the Keisha's Husband podcast. And this is powered by God through the good folks over at Hand of Views. No job too big, no job too small. You know what I'm saying? No moment too small. Shout out to Hand of Views. And right here, I have, a man of God. You know what I'm saying? A mentor, you know what I'm saying? A big brother, a businessman.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? A father. We're going to talk about
Yes,
that.
sir.
Congratulations
Yes, sir.
on being a father,
thank you
bro.
so much, Cam.
Congratulations on being a father.
Thank you so much, man.
A style consultant.
Yeah.
A trainer.
Yeah.
So many other things.
So many other things,
Without
man.
further ado, and you're going to hear from him, I want to introduce to you Martel Francois, all right?
Hey. I love it.
Hey, what's good, bro? How are you?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm just really excited to be here, man. Like, this is my first time doing anything like this.
Yeah? Wait. This is your first time speaking like on a podcast, doing
It's my
anything like
first
this?
time. Yeah, it's my first time.
Man, I'm honored, man. I'm honored to have you here on the Keisha's Husband podcast.
But you know what, though, man? One of my, one of the things I told God this year, for next year, is that I want to do more of these. Like, I want to do more speaking engagements. I want to get in front of more people, man. Because like I said to you the other day, man, I feel like I have a lot to share with the world.
Yeah.
And you sometimes you keep certain things in because you're like, I don't know if anybody wants to hear that or whatever, man. But like, you said something in the prayer, man, about surrendering. I think fully surrendering means like God has put things inside of you, right? And those things need to be shared with the world because you don't know who they're gonna impact. So
Facts.
I'm ready to impact this world, man.
No, facts, bro. It's something you just said, right? You said God puts things inside of us, and it's, in a way, I believe, like all the way, I think it's our duty to get it out. And you can let me know if this happens for you, but for me, when I feel like God put something on my heart or gave me something to share with the world, if I hold on to that, I'm being selfish. And it kind of eats me up inside if I'm not sharing that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that because in the moments where it's random times that you might have called me, you know what I mean? You know those calls we'll have, and you just share something, and I'm like, I think that's really huge of you to be able to just share that and be vulnerable. And you'll say it on the phone like, yo, Handy, I'm just being vulnerable, or that inspires me in the moment to be vulnerable with you about something, and you just like encourage me through it. We encourage each other through it.
100%, man.
I thank you, man.
No, man. Like, and that's what the brotherhood is about. That's what being believers in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like the body of Christ. That's what it's about. Like, we have to share these things, and I think as men, particularly black men, right? Like, we have to be open with each other. We have to be open with social, emotional, right? Like that emotional state. And I think, like, I'll tell you straight up, like, being married has really opened me up to that, right? Like,
I feel that. And,
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And you'll see what I'm talking about as your marriage continues to progress and develop and flourish, man. A flourishing marriage, man, needs to start with a body of communication. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that communication is so important, man. Because I want to know how she feels. I want her to know how I feel, right?
Yeah.
So that river, and I actually used this morning. I thought it was really great. That river of communication, right? That constant flowing of communication. So if I get on the phone with you and I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. Like, I'm gonna be open to tell you that I'm not feeling it, because also I don't want you to look at me or hear me and be like, man, something's off with him. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to know, like, yeah, this is how I'm feeling, right? Because maybe you can encourage me with something, and maybe something's on my spirit, and God's like, yo, just let it go.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't even be holding on to that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that, man, you just dropped a lot of gems in there.
Damn.
Because with communication, like, bro, I'm learning that in real time with my wife and through my wife, because before I met my wife, I've never been in a space like in a romantic relationship to be able to share like those vulnerable moments, like, hey, I'm not feeling this, or something is bothering me, because where we come from, being a man and expressing like that I don't have it figured out, I don't have the answers, I don't got it financially, we hold on to those things.
Yeah, we do.
So when you have somebody that you can have that like river of communication with, at first it can be a little like scary. You like, wait a minute, is this a real thing? But when you get into the rhythm of it and you see that it's like, this is my person, this ain't going nowhere, and this is the real thing, you get better at communicating.
You do.
I think you get better at communicating,
really
bro.
Yeah, you really do.
And my wife would tell you, I love communicating. It'd be like, it'd be late at night, and I just randomly want to talk about something, and she might be like,
I want to go to bed, man.
But you know what? She'll listen.
Yeah.
She'll listen for a second, but I know, like, also she, like, my voice sometimes helps her fall asleep. So she just like hearing my stories. Yeah. And she'll be like, all right, babe, I'm going to sleep. I'm like, all right, she tapping out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's a beautiful thing, man. Like, I'm the same way, man. I like, she'll be like, same thing, on her way to like getting ready to go. She'll be like, babe, like, I need to get some rest. But I'm like, I just got to get this off my heart, man.
I got to get it off my heart.
I got to get it off my chest, man. But that's a beautiful thing, man. And like, I want our young men, I want our young women to see what, a healthy relationship looks like, right?
And that's something we've definitely talked about. Like, I remember, and we're gonna get into how we met. We're gonna talk about the different gems you gave me, right? Yeah. But I remember specifically, I want to fast forward a little bit, just real quick. I remember it was an event we were doing in New York, right? And you was like, hey man, this is the date, bring wifey and all of that. And a couple of days had passed. And I remember reaching out. I might have forgot. And I was like, hey, bro, just want to make sure, is it cool if I bring Keisha? She's like, what? Yeah. You told me something on the phone. You said, bro, wifey. And he said, anywhere you go, wifey is definitely going to come. Yeah. And I was like, because I seen you move like that. Yeah. In real time and in real life, I seen you have your lady there. Yeah. And I admired that. So when you allowed me to, you like, yo, bring your lady. Yeah. Ever since then, anything I do, I bring my wife. Yeah. I bring my wife.
It's so important, because seeing that bond, seeing that unity, seeing that unit, like walk into a room, in a restaurant or some like a space, like it says so much. Yeah. And I know people just respect that. Like people respect. They just. And you don't see it a lot.
You don't.
Right? Like, I'll tell you, man, like, I grew up in a single-parent household. I share this story, and I've been sharing this story, man. Like, I grew up in a single-parent household where my mother and my father, man, were always, like, button heads, man. And, like, I watched my mom just, like, be painful. Like, I just watched the pain on her, man. And I always told myself, I always tell this story where I was the kid that, like, wished that I could run downstairs early in the morning, you know what I'm saying, and see my mom and my dad in the kitchen, like, making pancakes while I'm, like, in the living room watching cartoons, like, on a Saturday morning, but that was never the case, and I always vowed to myself that, when I find my person and we have a child, like, I want our child to experience what love is. I want them to see what that real love is, and that's something that I had to work on. Like, prior to my relationship with my wife, man, like, I was out here. You know what I'm saying?
In these streets.
I was out here in these streets.
In them New York streets.
I was out here in them New York streets, man. And I had a come to Jesus moment where.
What did that look like?
So it was 2015, man. It was 2015, and I was just out here, man.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I just can't.
Yeah, it just hit you.
It just hit me where I'm just like, I wanted sustainability, man. I wanted foundation. I wanted to really build with somebody. Yeah. Man. I was tired of just like dating and dating, right? Like, And
meaningless. It kind of
right,
felt like meaningless after a while.
it was so meaningless, man. And so I had a moment in the shower with God. Like I was my revelations always come in the shower, man. So I'm in the shower and I'm praying, man, because I feel like when you're in the shower, it's your most vulnerable moment, right?
Yeah.
You're just there, and it's just like, God, here I am, right? And I made a prayer, and I said a prayer to God. I'm like, God, like I want a partner. I want someone that I could build with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want someone that I could bring home to mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want someone that, like, when we walk into a room, I want people to be like, damn, like who is that? Right? Like who are they? Like,
who are they?
Yo, those are the Francois. Like, you know, and you know, like I met my wife summer of 2015, man. And it completely changed my life, man. Yeah. I'm a different man. I'm a better man because of her, bro.
Man, let's give it up for that, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's give it up for that, man. For your lady just being an addition to your life and being a better man.
Yes, sir.
So there's a question I want to ask you that I haven't asked you since this started.
Yep.
How are you?
How am I?
Yeah, how are you?
Man, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that. That's a really good question. I'm in a space where I am discovering my why and my purpose. I know we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
But I have always wrapped my identity around things, around fashion, around just like I want to call it superficial things, but I'm at a place now where I'm married, I have a child, and I'm desperately like seeking to find who I am, my why, right?
It's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, man. And God has like stripped me, like completely stripped me down. You know what I mean? Like, like has stripped ego. You know what I mean? Has stripped pride from me, man. Where I'm like, but God, like, I'm this though. How are you gonna do that?
How you gonna do that to me?
How you gonna do that to me? You know,
I'm the man.
It's me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And God's like, nah, like, I'm trying to take you somewhere. I'm trying to take you somewhere. You asked for this. You prayed for this.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to take you somewhere.
Yeah.
And where I'm taking you is to a place that you've never been before. So the place that you've never been before, you're going to have to do things that you've never done before.
It's going to feel so uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable.
It don't feel easy at all?
Oh, it's hard. It's not easy, bro. It's not easy, but let me tell you why it wasn't easy for me, because I didn't surrender.
So what you didn't surrender to? What didn't you surrender to?
I didn't surrender to his will. I was still trying to do things my way. I was still trying to do things my way.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, God, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to bring to the table. And he's like, yo, that's cool. And I hear that. And that's already been ordained for you. Yeah. But you can't do what you was doing in the past and think that it's still going to work today. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
A new creation is a new thing.
It's a rebirth. I'm reborn. You know what I'm saying? And so when you ask me how I am, like, I'm still trying to figure this new version of myself out as a father, as a husband, as a man in the community, new career, all these things. Like, I'm like, yo, like, this is a lot. Yeah. You know, but I know where he's taking me, and I just have to trust. I gotta just trust the process, for real, trust the process. Yeah. And I really, really have to walk blindly in faith. Like that saying, walk by faith, not by sight.
It's real.
You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing.
It sound good. It sound good to put as a caption.
Oh, it sounds good. It's great as a caption. But when you're going through it, like, it's real.
In real time,
like, and, you know, you think about, if we go biblical, right, you think about Jesus fasting in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights and like how he was tempted as man, right? Like, he was man, but he was also God, right? Like, but he was in the desert as man, like fully surrendered his God capabilities. Yeah. So
he was in the desert.
So he was in the desert, right? And so, like, he had to go through the wilderness. He, like, even when he was tempted by the devil, right?
He tried to tell you, say, well, if you're the son of God, do this.
Jump, right? Yeah. Like, make stone into bread. Yeah. Like, let me surrender to me. Let me give you all this. But God was like, that's already mine. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you give me something that's already mine. You know, so he had to surrender, right? He had to do things as God, not quotation marks, but as God.
Yeah.
He had to do things, you know what I mean? Like, and surrender himself still, bro.
Surrender.
So I had to really think to myself, like, if God can surrender, you know what I mean? Like, who am I? I'm nobody. I'm nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I need to surrender, like, to his will. It's not my will because I've tried it my way multiple times. And it, quite frankly, it hasn't gotten me anywhere. So I'm in it. When you ask me, how am I? This is a new version of myself.
Yeah.
Right. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's like getting a new car. I'm still trying to get the settings right, like, or a new phone. Right.
I'm still figure out how to open the trunk button.
Right. Like I'm figuring this new version of myself out. But in a nutshell, man, I am blessed.
Yeah.
I am blessed, and I'm happy that I'm in this new this rebirth of myself.
Yeah.
You know, because there's only good things that are ahead, man. I see it.
Yeah.
God has already he's shown it to me.
Yeah.
All I have to do is legit just walk in the path that he's already set out for me. You know what I'm saying? The steps have already been ordered.
Yeah. So, hey, bro, I just want to give you your flowers for that.
Thank you, bro.
I thank you for that.
That's a great question.
That
man.
vulnerability.
Always.
Yo, I thank you for that vulnerability and just that honesty right there because it's super relatable.
Yeah.
And I think so many men, can resonate with that of
100%.
being in a space of something new.
Yeah.
Being whether it's a new father, a new career.
Yeah.
And I want to just touch on, just that space of where you were.
Yeah.
Because with everything, the newness, we can't forget about that old space that you were in.
Of course.
And that's how we met.
Yeah.
We met through a mutual friend. I was doing an event in New York. And when I met you, it's funny, 40/40 Club and everything. I met you coming. Yeah, that was a super.
Man. Shout out to the 40/40, man. Shout out to Sheldon and Sherwin, the twins.
Yeah.
Who've held down the 40/40, man, for many, many years, and they're doing great things. Much love to you guys.
Yeah, bro, that was like, man, shout out to everybody over there.
Sir.
And we definitely ran it back at the 40/40 again.
Yes, we did. For their last night.
Yo, that was
their last night.
Bro, that was legendary.
That was their last night, man.
Shout out to Martel. We curated a vibe in the 40/40 for the last night.
Wow.
And then I made sure I went home with a bottle of Ace. I just gotta say that for the record. Martel made sure I went home with a bottle of Ace. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
But when I met you, it was in a space of, just making sure everybody was cool. That's one thing I noticed the entire time. You were making sure everybody was cool, everybody was enjoying themselves. And you just made it your point to say, hey, you good, you need anything.
Yeah.
And that stood out to me. And then I was, I come to find out you were also a man of God, right?
Yeah.
And then we hit it off
sense.
Because your wife is from Philly.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, man, we gotta lock in.
Yeah.
But that space right there, I want to talk about how did you get into, what was your introduction? Because we're gonna get back there.
Yeah.
But what was your introduction into being a brand ambassador?
Yeah.
What was your introduction into that?
Man, that's a great question. And I actually I taught a class the other day at Parsons about this.
Okay.
And being a brand ambassador and what it takes, right? I think here are the steps, right?
Okay.
Step one, right?
Pay attention.
Step one is to really understand. It comes from within. So step one is to understand who you are, right?
Okay.
And what you align with.
Okay.
Right. So I knew that for myself, I've always wanted to align myself with luxury. I've always wanted to align myself with lifestyle. I've always wanted to align myself in spaces that I didn't see people of color. Right.
Okay.
Because I always said to myself, I'm like, wait, if they could be in that space, why can I be in that space?
Right.
And then for me, like everything that I do has intention behind it. I want the generations and the people to see me in that space and be like, oh, if he's in that space, I could be in that space.
I could be there too.
You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of intention behind that, right? So I started really digging into brands that I've aligned with, right? Obviously brands that you hear in music, right? Like brands that you see on TV.
Yeah.
And I started to align myself with the brands, right? I'm like, okay, like really study the brands. And I think people be like, yo, how do I get a sponsorship? How do I get a sponsorship? I'm like, you have to make yourself, rest in peace to my boy Vlad, who passed away in 2020. He was one of my best friends. He would say this saying all the time. He'd be like, because people call me Tells, right? You'd be like, Tells, you got to make yourself so undeniably hot. That was his saying.
Okay.
Right? He'd be like, you got to make yourself so undeniably hot. So it's just like, how do you make yourself so undeniably hot that brands are like, oh, it's a no-brainer. We'd love to work with you, right? So my thing was just like doing crazy research on the brand, right?
Yeah.
Understanding how the inner workings of the brand. Then figuring out who works at the brand, right? Who is a decision maker at the brand, right? That I could be like, if I get 5 to 10 minutes with this person's gonna be like, yo, this guy has to come on out.
Undeniable. We need him.
Undeniably hot, right? So I was able to write down, and I started small, right? I started with this wine brand, this brand called, what's it called? Carnivore Wine, right?
Okay.
Great wine, red wine.
Shout out to Carnivore Wine.
Shout out to Carnivore Wine, man. They were, I think it was a Cabernet, man. And
I heard you use that name. We gonna get to that.
Yeah.
I've heard you. You really put me on to the wines.
Yeah, man. Wine. I love a good wine.
Yo, you really speak well when you talk about the wines. But we go. All right, my bad to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Nah, it's all good. And so then, from understanding who you are as a brand, because you are a brand, right? Doing research on the brand, but then figuring out what the missing component is of the brand. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the missing component, a lot of times for some of these brands, and this is a huge gem, is your network.
You're saying your personal network.
Your personal network. If you have the power and the ability to take a brand and to take the people who are in your network and bring them to the brand, almost be a disciple, if you will, by taking the people and bringing them to the brand, right? Because a lot of times, certain people just don't feel like, they might feel like, man, that brand is just, it's too good for me.
It's unreachable.
It's unreachable. But if you can say to that person, like, nah, like, this brand is dope. And I'm doing some amazing things with them. I think you should check them out.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you get 25, 50, 100 people who are in your network to think in that same manner, to get them over to the brand. And then you say to the brand, hey, listen, I got 100 folks right here.
Yeah.
I got 100 people right here that are willing to partake in whatever it is. Maybe it's a tasting, maybe it's a test drive, like maybe it's a styling event, whatever it may be. But if you can connect the people to the brand, because again, ultimately the brand is a business.
Yeah.
And a business wants to do what? Make money.
Make money.
Right? So if you can say to them, you're basically doing the work for them, hey, listen, I got the people.
Yeah.
You see me, you see how I am. I'm only going to bring you the best of the best.
Yeah.
That's where the alignment comes from. So I've been able to do that at a high level.
Yeah.
And I've been able to rinse and repeat that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm very strategic with everything that I do. I want to make sure, because to what you just said, I noticed, Martel, that you like to take care of people. Like, I want to make sure that the vibe is always on point for the people that are in that room.
Yeah.
That experience has to be so unforgettable that they're like, yo, Martel, when's the next one?
Yeah, and to that point, bro, I think that that was the initial energy that I got from you.
Yeah.
I actually remember me and you, it was kind of, I want to say I spoken into it or worked it into existence for our relationship to just grow.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, we had took a picture standing. It was like the end of, what was it, 2022 maybe.
Was it the crawl? Was it the crawl when we were standing on
you remember?
Yeah.
Bro, we was standing.
That was at one of my favorite places where I used to take my wife all the time, Ota Babel. Shout out to Ota Babel, Margaret, and Miriam.
We appreciate
Love
y'all.
you guys. Appreciate you guys.
That was there. We took a picture on the couch, and then I remember you were like, yo, we gonna work.
Yeah.
And then immediately after that, I think in the top of the new year, we were just working, bro.
Yeah.
And every time I seen your name come up on the call, it was either for like just dropping gems, just checking in, seeing how I was doing, or it was like, hey, I need you to get, come up here to New York.
Let's go to New York,
and
man.
that's another thing I just want to say.
Yeah.
I appreciate you not allowing distance to determine who you were going to work with, because I'm sure you could have chose anybody to work with, but you kept your word, and I could tell it was just more about, who I was as a person, who you saw, and just that that energy.
Yeah.
And that's who you align yourself with, because anybody I've seen you work with, whether it's like MJ or, different people that we have like consistent at the events. You're very loyal to who you have. And the energy is just always great. And I think because of that, the environment and just the success of those things,
it's gonna take off.
Always take off.
Always, because listen, at the core of who I am, I'm a relationshiper, man. I love building and establishing great relationships, because at the end of the day, and I want people to hear this, at the end of the day, all we have is our relationships. The people who are in our network, right? Because they are worth so much more than gold, than diamonds, than money, man. Relationships, good people, keeping good people, surrounding yourself with good people are legit all we have. Right? And I understand that, and I've always understood that even at a young age, man. Like I'll give you an example. When I was like in high school, you know, like people would say I had the gift of gab, right? Like
same, bro. I think that's how we hit it all, bro. Same.
And so like, you know, they used to like they would sell these amazing cookies at my job. Like the cafeteria ladies would make the cookies, right? And the cookies were like, you know, they were 50 cents at the time, right? And so I just got good with the cafeteria ladies, man, because I really love them cookies, right?
You was intentional,
right? And I was always intentional. So I was, hey, ladies, how you guys doing, man? Good morning, everything good? How's the family, right? Like, always showing the love, man. And so when I came around, like, they were stacking me up this many cookies, and I'll try to put out like my $1 or whatever. They were like, nah, keep that $1,
keep
that, right? So like, I realized at a young age, like, yo, like relationships is everything.
It's everything, bro. And the gab, it's funny, the whole term gift of gab, right? I truly believe, I mean, right now I'm like hearing that. I truly believe that is a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift from God, bro. Because like
it is, bro.
I think about when I worked at this valet company, right? I genuinely care about people. And I know you genuinely care about people. So you're genuinely checking with them, seeing how they doing, and you're giving them the gift of care. And the care, that thought of love, and somebody sees them. Because people in that space of service, whether in the cafeteria or the store, you know, whether they're like, you know, like custodial work, the people that feel forgotten about, when you let them know they're not forgotten, they'll never forget you, and they're gonna make sure you cool. So I was working at this hotel doing valet, and there was this guy, you know, shout out to, like, I think Budweiser, they sponsor the NFL games and everything like that, maybe. And this guy, he would come and replenish the hotel all the time.
Love that.
And he'd get off the truck. The other valet guys, you know, I noticed that they probably would tell him to get off the drive or give him a hard time. Me, I became a supervisor, and now I'm running the show a little bit. And I'm like, hey, bro, man, put that truck right there. I'm like, yo, take your time in there. Hang out, take a break if you need to. Just showing them genuinely love, because I'm like, bro, he traveled around. He's like refilling these places, replenishing them. You need a break. So this go on throughout the whole year. It's come around like Christmas time or whatever, right? The holidays, I never forget. This is when we had Carson Wentz. This is like 2016. I never forget. He's like, hey, Sean, I got something for you. Brand new in a plastic. He throws me a Carson Wentz jersey.
Oh, that's fire.
Bro, he throws me a Carson Wentz jersey. So shout out to my guy, you know what I mean? I don't know what he's doing now. If he still does work with Budweiser, bro, you guys are lucky to have him. And you know, if you got a Nick Foles or a Saquon Barkley jersey, bro.
I don't talk about Saquon Barkley, man.
What?
We lost Saquon, man.
Bro,
I'm a Giant fan, man. We lost Saquon, man.
Hold on, bro. How do you feel knowing that he's snapping in
there? It hurts, man. I mean, I'm like, you wasn't doing no backwards hurdles in New York, man. Where now, like, you just got like spring chicken legs. Like, what's going on, man? I felt like when he was in New York, he was hurt every other game, man.
He was preserving himself because he knew God. He knew God had a place for him to land, bro. He knew God had a place for him to land, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know. My son, I don't know. Are you a believer yet at Saquon Barkley?
Oh my God!
Listen, because I ain't gonna hold you. Listen, we be talking about it, and then there was one game he was like, we texting about it, we talking about it. He's like, no, he, you know what I mean? I ain't feeling him. After the last game, I was like, yo, he come alive in the third quarter.
He's putting up numbers, man. You know,
we going to the chip.
Yeah, you guys definitely are, man.
I just want to say thank you from the whole city of Philadelphia. I thank you.
I love Philly so much.
On the behalf of New York for sleeping on Saquon Barkley, bro.
Here we go. I
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Listen. And that right there, to me, I love the underdog, bro.
I'm the same way.
I love the underdog. And that right there is, to me, all seriousness, just seeing how I remember when he did his first interview, he came with the Eagles. He was very humble, and I love watching. I love watching that game. I love watching the games where he's like eager. He's like eager to be a part, like to show up for his team.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a few people that I recognize that in, right? I recognize that in when, you know, with who would I say? There's a few people. I want to say LeBron.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's somebody I see that with.
Yeah.
And this is no order, but Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to Saquon Barkley.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Go ahead. Do your thing.
You use the word humility, and this is such a powerful word. And, you know, my spiritual advisor, because you got to have a spiritual advisor, you know,
sure.
someone who is deeply rooted, but obviously a little bit more knowledgeable than you are, but someone that's continuing to push you in the right direction, right? And he would say this to me, and I want everybody to hear this. Mm-hmm. He would say that humility is godly strength under control.
Say that again.
Humility is godly strength under control, right?
Yeah.
Pride and ego is godly strength out of control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to really be strong is to show humility, right? Think about it. I mean, and if we go back to biblical principle, right? Jesus Christ died a gruesome death.
Painful.
For someone that was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
Right? And he was humble as God. Could have snapped necks, could have done anything, could have teleported out of that crucifixion.
Could have wiped everybody out.
Could have wiped everybody out, but said that I'm still going to take this death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so there was so much power in that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we live in a society where people are just not humble. You know, and it's humble. Humility is looked at as weakness, man.
Yeah.
But really, you should turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people respect the humility because, again, the power is in the humility. And anyone who's powerful that sees another person of power knows that, that person can go off.
Yeah.
But that person is able to contain that power, able to contain the anger, the emotions, the lashing, and nah, I'm here. I'm cool. I'm chill. Yeah. Right? So to be able to be humble, bro, is godly strength under control.
Man, I love that definition, and I think that moving forward, I'm going to definitely keep that in mind, and I'm going to always just use that because I think that we are in a society and in a space where it's not encouraged.
No.
It's not encouraged to be humble.
No.
It's quite frankly, it's encouraged to be the opposite, right? And I think that there's a lot of ego and a lot of pride, and people find strength in that.
Yep.
And when you talked about the rebirth, I think that I won't say that. I won't say never. There was a period in my life where I did move in ego and pride.
Yeah.
God stripped me then.
Yeah.
And I'll say that as of lately, and within this last year, God definitely stripped me. And my prayer that I always pray is, God, remove ego or pride. Okay. I might have even said that in the prayer, remove ego and pride, because I recognize that it's too easy to turn and rely on ego and pride.
Of course.
Because just like you explained in the story, you thinking about, this is who I am.
This is me.
Look what I've done. And you could rely on things like social media, reactions, people also feeding people. They don't mean to. They feed the ego.
They feed the ego.
They let you know, hey, bro, you fire.
Yeah.
You the man.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
My purpose is to just give it all to him.
Gotcha,
and I think that's the first thing, I think, in your bio.
Man.
Is say God first. And I know you always operate in that space of, all glory to God. And that's something that, because I've seen you, whether it's your workout videos and pictures, I've adopted that. And now especially with rebranding Handed Views, the energy that I'm on is giving all the glory to God, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
That's why I start this off
With a prayer.
With prayer, because I don't want to do anything without him, because I did so much without him, and then I came back to him to include him. Now I want to reverse it and do it. I want to go to him first.
Yeah.
Because I want to go to him first and then go my way, because I know that if I go to him first, he's going to make sure the way is correct.
Yeah.
But if I do the opposite way, I'm coming to him for damage control.
Yeah.
I'm saying, hey, God,
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Please, please fix it. And then he's like, if you would have just waited on my word, you would have mounted up on wings like eagles, bro. You would have just flew.
Yeah,
but now look.
Man, like, oh my God, that. And it's funny that you say that, because that's where I'm at right now, right? Like, I have done everything thinking that, like, yo, God, I'm doing this for you, right?
Yeah. I'm giving you glory.
I'm giving you glory in it. And I feel like I was, but like, it's really having that, again, come to Jesus moment where, like, he will strip you and really make you look at yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And especially, like, if you are trying to go to this next level.
Yeah.
Because there's levels to this thing, right? Mm-hmm. And you're a vessel, I'm a vessel.
Yeah.
And I know that there's spaces that he needs me to be in. There are places that I need to be. There are people that need to hear certain things from me.
Yeah.
So I have to be all the way stripped down.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go in with, like, yo, I'm Martel. Like, what up? Like, I can't even go in with that. Like, I really have to go in, like, with leading with God first.
Yeah.
Like, really paying attention to, like, what is it? Like, God, where do you need me to be? Like,
where do you need me to be?
Like, where should, because I used to tell Sid this all the time. Sid's my wife, by the way.
Shout out to Sid. Shout out to Sid. The sis.
Shout out to Sid.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to Sid. Love you, baby. But I used to always say this to her, because we would take what we call our morning walks with God. And I'll give you some backstory to that. 2020, I told you my best friend Vlad passed away. Yeah. And man, I was just so down, man. It was 2020, right? We're going through a pandemic. People are just kind of dying left to right? Yeah. And we just started taking these walks. Yeah. And we would take these walks, and it would be like 2 blocks, 3 blocks. Then it was like 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles.
In New York, and this is in New York, right?
New York.
The New York blocks is long.
They're
bro.
long, man. And so, like, the walks became so refreshing, and we would talk about game plan and strategy and talk about God, right?
Okay.
And we would just call it our walks with God. So we would sit there and talk, and, like, I would always say to her, I'm like, yo, babe, like, sometimes I feel like, and this is the analogy that I would use, like, I would feel like God would be waiting for me at a restaurant, and I would get to the restaurant, but I was too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like our reservation was for 9 a.m. and I'm getting there at like 10:30, 11. And he's like, bro, I can't wait for you.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
And you felt that internally.
And I felt that internally. I'm like, I'm always missing him. I'm always missing him. So I'm just like, well, how do I get into alignment with God? Like, I'm asking him all the time, like, I need that alignment with you, because, like, that alignment with you saves me so much time.
Yeah.
Trying to do things myself and messing up and then coming back to you. Do things myself, messing up and then coming back to you. So, like, I need to really, really be in that alignment, in that space with you, whereas it's like, this is what I need you to do. Yeah. Right. And then that true humility, man, that stripping of the ego, man, when everyone around you is telling you, yo, you the man, you the man, you the man, you the man, you the man. I'm like, I'm not. Like,
he the man.
He's the man.
He's the man.
He's the man. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that, man. I really, really feel that.
Bro, I love that, right? Because that brings me into my next point.
Yes, sir.
So with everybody telling you you the man, and I got your backstory on how you became someone revered as a brand ambassador, and you were ambassadoring for these companies. Yeah. We met at an event where you were, curating it, providing the vibes under the umbrella, if you will.
We can say the brands.
The brand Lobos.
Lobos 1707 Tequila. Shout out to them. Major shout out to them.
Major shout out to Lobos,
Major shout out to
1707 Brand Tequila.
Yep. Major
You know
shout
what
out
I'm
to Lobos. Major shout out to the founder, creator, Diego Osorio. Major shout out to Maverick Carter, LeBron James, everyone who is the powerhouse behind the brand.
Dia Sims, right?
And Dia Sims too.
Dia
as well. I
Sims.
cannot forget Dia Sims. But you know, that was such a blessing because they definitely saw something in me, right?
Yeah.
And you know, the opportunity. I'll tell you how the opportunity came. Man.
Please tell me how the opportunity, because that's all I was going to ask. How did the opportunity happen?
Yeah.
And what were you doing right before the opportunity?
Oh man, so 2021 was probably one of the hardest years of my life. I was like in such a depressive state because things weren't clicking. Right.
Okay.
I was not getting brand deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was putting my neck out there, right? And nothing was happening for me. And I'm just like, God, what's up?
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine, Robert Nieves, shout out to Robert Nieves. I love you, Rob.
Shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Rob. You met Rob before, right?
Yeah.
And so Rob,
He's got the family and everything.
Rob has a family now.
Shout out to
man.
Rob. Yeah.
Big shout out to Rob, man. And Rob knew that I love tequila. Rob was like, "Yo, Martel, man, there's this brand that I think can really align with you, man. They're looking for somebody," because Rob knew that I had connections in the restaurant space, right? You know?
You super locked in, bro.
Super locked in
with the bro. We had so many vibes at the restaurants for the foods, but we gonna vibe.
Yeah. And so he was like, "Yo, Martel, man, I think this could be a great opportunity for you, man. Meet this person, you know, and you know, just tell her like what you trying to do, right?"
Yeah.
And so I met his connect, and his connect was like, "Yo, you're dope. You need to meet our regional manager." This lady named Jessica, awesome, and she was running all of like East Coast.
Shout out to Jessica.
Shout out to Jessica. And she was running all the East Coast, and so her and I started talking, and she was like, "Yeah, I think you might have a shot with this."
Ooh.
Like, all right, cool.
And this was in 2021 after you.
This was October of 2021. So this is how let me tell you how it was a buildup, right?
Oh yeah. Talk about it.
So the buildup was like, Jessica was like, okay, just because I said to her, I'm like, yeah, I have, you know, connections at Dumbo House, Soho House. Like I do legit have all these like really amazing connections.
I see it in real time, bro.
No, again, right? Like my gift is relationships, like
And the gift of gab.
But more so, really, I would say more so, fostering and nurturing really great relationships.
I got you.
Right? The people that I lock in with, the people that I rock with, they're dope. I do good by them. They do good by me. Right?
For sure.
So Jessica was like, "Yo, you need to meet our hiring manager." So I met the hiring manager. She was like, "Okay." I told her some of the people that I've worked with in the past, and then we've definitely had some common interests. And she was like, "All right, you need to sit down with Dia." And I was like, "Damn!" Like, you know, like I did my research on Dia. I'm like, "Yo, Dia,
yeah, that's huge.
Dia's a powerhouse, man." So Dia and I got on a Zoom. I never forget. She was like driving to go pick up her daughter. Like she was in the car zooming me, like, "Yo, so what's up? Talk to me." And like, you know, that's how Dia is. Like she's mad chill with it. I'm like, "Yo, listen, Dia, like." Just give me the opportunity. Like, really give me the opportunity. I could take this thing home.
I got you. I got you.
She's like, all right, you got one more. I'm like, what's the one more? She's like, Diego, who's the founder. And so the last interview was with Diego, and Diego travels all over the world, right? All the time he's on a plane. And so Diego was in an airport for that last interview, and he didn't have his camera on. And I had my camera on, and I'm like, yo, this dude does not have his camera on. So I couldn't really gauge or read, like, how, you know, like...
Yeah, it probably affected your energy a little bit.
100%.
It was like a mental thing.
100%. And I think he did that purposely, right? And so I kept my camera on, and, like, I kept it going, and I'm like, yo. And his answers were, like, very, like, dry. Like, he was just like, okay, cool, okay, right? Like, it wasn't like, oh, he wasn't excited. He was just like...
He didn't show none of that.
He didn't show nothing. And he was like, all right, we'll be in touch, right? And then so now, I said that's like October. So now we in November. I didn't hear nothing all of November. December comes. They're like, yeah, we're still like, you know, trying to figure this thing out. And then January 1st comes, and they're like, okay, we're gonna put you on contract. I'm
bro,
like, word. And when I tell you I needed it like,
bro, shout out to,
even believe,
real
man.
quick, I want to say shout out to Dia Sim, shout out to Diego, shout out to God for just,
big shout out to
you
God.
know, for saying like, It's on.
Yeah.
Giving my boy that shot, man.
Yeah, that's all. And listen, I just needed to get my foot in the door.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. And you said you needed it.
I needed it. Like I was in such a being vulnerable, man. I was like literally like I had no money coming in. You know,
yeah.
My wife. Shout out to my wife. She was.
Man, shout out to Sid. Real quick, can I just shout out to my wife? Because like I feel like it's something about having a super dope. Like when God send you, not the world, like not anybody else, or tell you that's the person or anything like that.
Yeah.
When God send you your person, you gonna know because they gonna show up the way that God described it. They gonna be that helpmate.
Yeah.
So I want to shout out to my wife, Keisha, and this is the KEISHA'S podcast.
Yeah.
Hey baby, I appreciate you. All right, go back to your story.
Love that. I love the love you show, Keisha, man.
Yeah,
like
I love that. I love that woman, man.
That love, like inspires me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that love, like I love my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I love my wife.
Yeah.
But that love, like, inspires me. I'm like, I love that. Like,
Bro,
you know what I mean? Like,
you inspired it when you told me, you was like, yo, bro, you said on another phone call one time, you were like, and this would have really inspired me, like, to do the whole process with Keisha's husband.
Yeah.
It was like, you were like, yo, bro, it's our job to let the world see what, like, authentic love looks like.
Yeah, 100%.
So I remember, those conversations we had, bro, I want you to know that they didn't fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I'm like, bro, I'm excited. Like, it's this joy that I feel, about my wife and just where God has us and God being in the center of it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I love it. And I genuinely wake up excited to love her every day.
Yeah.
Like, I love her authentically for who she is, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been in this space. So to see you do it, you know what I'm saying? It inspires me. And I'm glad that I thank God for the ability to be able to inspire you too, bro.
Yo, man.
That's what it's all about, bro.
But, we here to inspire each other, man. And yo, man, like the world's gonna see this, man. I'm so excited about this, man.
Bro, I'm excited. I'm excited about this too. And then we're gonna continue talking about how you went into Lobos. But I want to just say, the way that this happened, bro, because the name of this episode, you know it. I'm gonna let the world know, and I'm stamping it right here. And my son thought it was fire, so I gotta say it. Listen, this episode is called Nothing But God. Because I want you to know that I've been in a space of like God stripping me of things falling through. I've let you know, like, at different points of this year, like, yo, it's been slow, or things been like drying up, or it ain't been what it was. And you like,
entrepreneur.
Bro, you came through for me, like, in many ways, just had my back, whether it was like on a phone or just, showing up for me. And I thank you, for that. And it was like, there's an example, I feel like, in real time of God saying, all right, I got you. And it may not make sense. It don't make sense. And then there's a quote that says, I've seen it so many times online. It's like, do it broke, do it tired, do it scared, do it anyway. I've seen that quote so many times. And I felt all of those things when you reached out to me yesterday. And when you said, hey, bro, I seen you calling, right? I'm like, hey, my guy. And you answered the phone. Like, when I answered, you was like super excited, and you didn't realize, you didn't even know, but on the other end I was experiencing like just this feeling of like questioning where I'm at, like just questioning, like, yo, God, I need you to come through.
Give me a sign.
Give me a sign. I need you to come. I need you to come through, right?
Yeah.
And when you like, hey, bro, I'm going to be in the city, right? I'm like, you like, yo, bro, I think it's time for that talk. I'm like, bro, it's on. I'm gonna hang up right now, and then we gonna make it happen. And I just give the glory to God for, putting it on your heart, and Him giving you the schedule and the availability to have this talk, and this to be, the one of the first talks that you've had in this capacity,
it's
bro.
my first talk.
The first talk.
Yeah, it's my first talk.
Because when I reached out to you, well, let's give it up for that, bro, because that's major, bro. Like, that's major right there. Major that this is the first talk, bro, because when I reached out to you, it was like probably a month or so ago, and I'm like, hey, whenever you passing through the city, but that's God's time, and there's nothing but God that made sure it was now. And with it being the holiday season, I'm thankful for your presence. I'm thankful for your brotherhood, bro. Like, I'm super thankful for that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, so coming off of, just wanted to give you those flowers real quick.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much, man.
No doubt, bro. So appreciate you being here. So coming off of the new year has started.
Yeah.
You started with Lobos.
Yeah.
And what was your initial position as the contractor?
Let me tell you something, man. I knew I loved tequila. I didn't have in-depth knowledge of tequila.
I can't tell, bro. The way you listen.
I do now, though. I do now.
The way you sit there and speak in the moment, I'll be like, "Where's the tequila?" I'll be like, you be like, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So listen, man. I got on contract Jan 1st, 2022.
Way to start off the year.
Yeah, it was a great way to start off the year, man. And I'm like, babe, I'm gonna take this thing. I'm gonna run with it. I'm gonna make it into something, man.
And what did she say?
She was like, yo, do your thing. Like she's always been super, super supportive of me, and that's another thing, man. Shout out to the supportive wives out there, man. And
fact, shout out to y'all.
Like, we cannot do this thing without you. Like,
we cannot.
I cannot be who I am without my wife. Like, we are legit one. And she was like, babe, like, this is what you want to do, run with it. And I'm like, I'm going to run with it. So I got on contract, and one thing about me is that I just put on my branding hat. I put on my branding hat. I put on, my lifestyle hat, and I said that I'm gonna bring something so unique to this table, like the world has never seen what I'm bringing to this table.
Yeah.
Right. And when I went in, 3 months in, I was like, yeah, I'm going to crush this thing. So I started reaching out to all my contacts, man. They gave me like their brand Bible. So I studied that brand Bible. Like, I studied it. I studied, again, going back to really knowing your product, knowing your brand. Like, I studied it. Like, I studied that tequila like it was my tequila. And that's how I looked at it. I looked at it like it was my tequila. This is my business, right?
And that reflected. I want you to know that
100%.
reflected in the spaces that I've worked with you, that you guys brought me on, because you guys brought me on to capture events. So that reflected.
Yeah, man. So I got on 2 months, 3 months, crushing it. 4 months, crushing it. 7 to 8 months in, they were like, yo, what do you think about, because again, I was only supposed to be on contract for 4 months or 3 months, right?
Watch this.
And then I was like, nah. I'm like, I need this. Like,
staying.
I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
What she saying, Dream Girls? Yeah, I'm staying.
I'm staying, man. Like, and then they had the conversation with me, and they were like, D was like, yo, what do you think about becoming our national ambassador?
And I remember seeing that post, bro. Yeah, I remember seeing that post, and I was like, what? Like, I don't even know a national brand ambassador.
Yeah.
So, bro, how did you feel when DSM said, how do you feel about, from going from, hey, I'm good with it, but you just got to talk to Diego, to Dia saying, hey, what do you feel about taking this thing even higher, being our national?
Yeah.
Not, so you sure it wasn't local?
It wasn't
regional.
It was regional. It was national. I was
national, bro. Congrats on that, bro.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Meaning, like, bro, I was in Dallas. I was in Atlanta. I was
Wheels
in DC. It was wheels up. It was wheels up. I was on a plane at least 2-3 times a month, man. And I was like, again, like, I'm going to bring something so unique to this opportunity, like really tapping into who I am, really tapping into what I can do.
Yeah.
I knew that I could bring people together. I knew that I could provide experiences that people would never, ever had the opportunity or be in, right? Like, and so for me, like, that was the biggest thing. And here's the kicker.
Yeah.
I never, ever focused on the tequila. I never focused on the tequila. What did I focus on? I focused on the people.
Yeah.
I focused on the people that I was in front of. I focused on the people that I was presenting to. I focused on the rooms that I was curating.
Yeah.
Right. And then the tequila was like the backdrop. It was legit the backdrop. Like, people were just like, yo, this is good. Like, this is, but like, yo, like, this is, we're having a great time.
We're having a great time.
And I'm connecting with good people. When's the next one? When's the next one? When's the next one? And I was activating in spaces. And then here's the thing, man. With my love for lifestyle, with my love for luxury, like, that bottle of tequila I used to get me into spaces, right? I used that bottle. I leveraged that bottle to get me into the Baccarat Hotel, to get me into the Four Seasons Hotel, right? Right. And then so I was able to be in those spaces. I was able to curate and activate in those spaces where, like, other brands weren't doing it like me, right?
Let them work. Watch them work.
I was doing jazz nights.
I remember.
Right?
Yeah.
But, like, I was doing jazz nights. I was having couples come out, right? Couples that were married, that had kids. They were like, yo, we got to find a babysitter. Like, we got, like, you know what I mean? Because, again, because the win for me was when that couple or that person walked into a liquor store, wine and spirit store, and they saw that bottle of Lobos tequila, they're gonna pick it up and be like, man, I had a great time at that jazz night. I had a great time at that Cinco de Mayo. I had a great time at that crawl. I had a great time, at that tasting event. Like, so that bottle was synonymous with the experience that they had, not just the actual taste. Now, the taste was amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But the experience was on a whole nother level.
That's a really, like, bro, when I think about it, that's very true, because when I seen, anytime I seen the bottle at the event,
Yeah.
I thought about I was present, but I thought about the last time.
Yes, sir.
Because that would probably be the first thing I take a picture of, is taking a picture of that bottle.
Yeah.
And then just thinking about, like, yo, man, the last time,
Yeah.
it was just incredible. Or anybody that, would taste it, they were like eager. They'd be like, yo, I want to meet somebody from there. And then I'm like, you're already like talking to people. And one thing you always did is when I let you know, like, this person just tried it, no matter what was going on. You stopped what you were doing.
Let's go.
You came. He was like, Handy, let's do it.
Let's talk.
We talking to people, and you sitting there with them. You talking to them. You vibing. And these aren't people that you invited to the event.
Yeah.
Of course, you made sure the people at the event was cool.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about people that are in the restaurant or at the vibe already.
Yeah.
Now, you, like, in a way, they're recruited and they're a part of it.
Yeah.
So, bro, you have the whole building just in there vibing, and they're just like, yo, we with whatever he's with. And that right there, bro, is a gift.
Thank you.
That's the gift of gift, bro.
But peep this, though.
Okay.
Lobos was not in Philadelphia.
I know. Bro, I know. Look, so here's a funny joke, right? My wife will tell you. Remember your thought. I just want to tell you this real quick. Me and my wife, we will go out for date night, we vibe or whatever, and we order drinks or whatever, right? I'll make a joke under my breath, or even say it to them. Like, they like, hey, what do you guys want to drink? I'm like, nah, they ain't got it here yet. I'm like, they ain't got it here yet. But I was like this, but I know a guy. And she'd be like this, boy, Bob. She'd be like, boy, Bob, because I'm like, I know a guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, knowing that they don't, I'm like, they just don't got it here yet.
There you go.
But no. Like,
but see, even for me, like, because I'm thinking strategic with everything that I do. And I knew that Lobos wasn't here in Philadelphia. So we did that. Do you remember that barber?
The barber event
that we did
bro,
at Ethos?
Bro, I want to, shout out to you. Shout out to BJ. Shout out to the whole.
I love you, BJ.
Hey, BJ, I got love for you too, bro. He hooked me up for my wedding.
I saw that.
Shout out to BJ and all the Ethos staff. They made sure me and my family was good.
Yeah. And my man Sabir, Men's Style Pro, shout out to you too as well.
He's super fly every time I see you.
Yep.
And I just want to say, bro, like, that right there, you curated a vibe that Philly had never seen.
Yeah.
And while you were in there, so many people were like, bro, it don't even feel like I'm in Philly.
Yeah.
Like, I looked around, and as I'm taking pictures and I'm just looking around for moments, I'm like, bro, we not in Philly. We somewhere else right now.
Yeah. That's all God, bro.
Nothing but God.
That's all nothing but God, man. Because understand that I knew, again, the bottles are just a backdrop. At the end of the day, how are we making people feel?
Yeah.
Right? And so you go to any other brand, and obviously brands are businesses, and they have to sell cases, they have to sell bottles. But here's the sauce. The sauce is right here. How are you making people feel when they interact with the product? If I'm over here looking at this bottle of water, I'm like, man, like, how does this bottle of water make me feel when I look at it? Every time I grab it, like, does it have a nice hand to it? What type of plastic is it? You know what I mean? How does the cap feel when I twist it off, right? Like, let me know how the feel is, right? So when we were at that event, my goal was to curate a vibe, curate a very luxurious, authentic vibe where everybody just felt like family. I had the bottles of Lobos, and I was legit pouring it into people's like cups, right? Because people
I seen it.
Like, and then I don't know if you saw, I had that presentation with the wooden box.
Yeah.
Right? And that that again, like, it's about making people feel good and making people feel exclusive, because they are, right? And so when I had that wooden box and I presented it like, and this is true, like, this is new.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of people are getting access to what you guys are getting access to.
Yeah.
So when I cracked open that box and they were like, yo.
In the room, like, the room was just like.
We sucked the air out that room and that box opened up. They were like, yo, what is that?
And are we talking about the red one?
We talking about the red bottle.
Bro, I got a few great pictures of that, because I wanted to say, bro, that right there, people aren't doing that.
Nobody's doing that.
No,
man.
brands aren't allowing that level of exclusivity to their like premium, newest, tasting their bottle. And you made sure every room felt that. And I remember at that event, like in a way, I kind of, because I seen it online when you guys were rolling it out and introducing it.
Yeah.
But when I seen it in person, I was like, whoa, there's the red bottle. So I saw the red bottle. I'm like, whoa, this is not a test.
Yeah.
The red bottle is here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, is he just gonna show it or is he gonna share it?
I'm not sharing it.
Bro, you said I'm gonna share it, and you shared it with the room. You made sure everybody had some, bro.
And again, in people's mind, like now let me tell you something. That's our reposado. That is our standard reposado. It's in a different packaging, though,
Yeah.
right? But the people were able to taste the product, and in their minds, the product tasted so much better than anything that they've ever had.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all about presentation.
Yeah.
It's all about how are you making people feel.
Exactly.
It didn't care. Like, I can get tequila anywhere.
Yeah.
The tequila space is such a competitive space.
Yeah.
Right? But like when a consumer goes to a high-end restaurant or their local bar or their local liquor store and they're looking at the back shelf and they're like, yo, what do I choose, right? They're going to choose what has been loyal to them.
Yeah.
They're going to choose they're going off of the experience that they had when they had that bottle or they had that tequila or whatever the spirit is, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm at my bar and I see that red bottle, I'm like, oh, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in Philly at that Ethos event.
Exclusive event.
And my man Martel cracked that joint open for me. We all shared it. We all had a great time around it.
So I want to recreate. I want to recreate that
Let me
energy.
recreate that. And then not only that, we also gave them education. So here's the thing, right?
Yeah, you explain, bro. That's what I was talking about, bro. You commanded the room, and it wasn't in a way where it was like, shut up and listen. It was in a respectful,
Always.
like tasteful way
Always.
where people had no choice. Because even if they were wrapping up their conversations, they started to listen, and then they were in awe of you hearing it. Like, wow, the way he's describing it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, bro, everybody's quiet and their cups up.
Everyone's just cupped up, man. Like, and I think we ran through like legit all the cases. I had like 3-4 cases that I brought down from New York.
Bro, I used to always say at the events, I used to sometimes have you like, yo, Lobos spot a case.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Like, and that's really what it was, man. It's about providing that great experience. It's about educating the consumer, and that's in everything, man. That's not just in spirits. That's in fashion. That's in finance. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I personally want to make sure that I'm educating.
Yeah.
I'm motivating.
Yeah.
And I'm inspiring individuals to take action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's our purpose, right? Because if we're vessels, God is going to point us to where he needs us to be to preach whatever he needs us to preach. Now, we don't have to sit there and be like, hey, like Matthew this says this, but like people that see and know that we are believers in Christ, they're watching our actions.
And we acting it out in real time.
I'm acting it out in real time.
Because the Bible talks about that. It's not enough just to know the word.
Nah.
You know what I mean? But if you like
put it in act,
you gotta put the feet to the ground and just really act that out and move that out. And that's some people's first experience or real experience of what God is, because we were created in his image.
Yeah.
So if they see you moving a certain way, loving your lady, honoring her, honoring people, treating people good, they're like, oh, that's what it means to be a Christian. Not just this, but what you doing like this. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, bro, I want to just ask, what were a few highs during that time with Lobos? Like, how long did the partnership last of you being a brand ambassador, the national brand ambassador with Lobos? Mm-hmm. What were some highs there, and what were some learning moments?
I would say, my highs were definitely the experiences that I had, traveling, really going to different, like, I loved going to different markets. Like, I was legit building businesses in different markets.
Yeah.
Like, I was in Reno, Nevada. One of my strongest trips that I've ever had was I was in Reno, Nevada. And if anybody knows anything about Reno, Nevada, man, it's like the desert. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a small town. Everybody knows each other. There's a couple local restaurants, a couple local bars, and I got the chance to go on what we called like a blitz, right? A blitz is basically like when you partner up with a distributor.
Okay.
Right, and then the distributor knows all the spots that don't have Lobos. But they have the relationship there, and they're like, "Yo, Martel, talk your game, get it in there." Right?
Y'all pull up together.
We pull up together, and they're like, "Hey, this is Martel. He's a representative from Lobos,
and he
from
got
New
it
York."
from here.
And right, and I got it from there, right. And so like I had 2 days in Reno, Nevada, and like we went on 2 strong blitzes, man. And I mean, it was beautiful, man, because it wasn't what I was used to, right?
How
it was
so?
such a great meaning that like I'm over here at the Baccarat Hotel, like I'm at the Four Seasons, like you know, I'm at Charm Bar, I'm at all these amazing restaurants and bars in New York City, and it's sexy, right? New York is sexy, right?
Yeah, New York, yeah.
So I'm over here doing the sexy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so
You went to the trenches?
I'm in Reno, Nevada. Which is, you know, somewhat of, you know, no offense, but you know, somewhat of a blue collar town. People are hardworking, right?
Okay.
Like, and it wasn't that. It was like pubs, and in Reno, Nevada, you know, they're in their gas stations, because it's Nevada and you can gamble, right? There's
At the gas station?
in the gas stations there's like slots. You know what I'm saying? And I was in the gas station, and you know, but they sell liquor in the gas station too. So I pull up to the gas station, and I'm with my distributor. She's talking to one of the guys. It's an Indian guy, and the Indian guy comes out like clean brother, like, you know what I'm saying, bald head like me, and excuse me. He made a joke. He was like, "Man, I like your haircut." I'm like, "I like your haircut too."
Conversation piece.
Right, like, and he was like, "Yo, like, it's funny enough, I was rocking these boots, right, and I had these boots on, and he was like, "Yo, I like your boots." I'm like, "Oh, thank you, man." Like, he's like, "Were you in the military?" I'm like, "Nah, I wasn't in the military." A lot of people think I'm in the military, man. I guess it's just the way that I, like, you know,
carry
myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Nah, I wasn't in the military." So we just got to rapping, man, and come to find out, the dude owned like 8 gas stations, all in Reno, Nevada.
Nothing but God, bro.
Nothing but God. So like, you know me, then I didn't even know that. I just started presenting the product to him. I'm presenting the product to him. Like, he takes a cup out, and I bring out our most expensive SKU. And I'm like, yo,
In Martel fashion.
In Martel fashion. I'm like, yo, you like a guy that like likes the finer things, right? So I poured them up. I took a little pour up, like, and I'm walking him through the flavor profiles, and he's just like, "This is good," like,
yeah.
And he's like, "I'll take 20 cases for all of my gas stations." I'm like, "Bro, how many gas stations you got?" He's like, "I got 8 gas stations." I'm like, "What?"
You're like, whoa.
I'm like, "What?" So in that short amount of time, man, I was able to build these organic relationships with just hardworking blue collar people, right?
Yeah.
Close that deal. Then we went to a supermarket. It was a Latin supermarket, right?
Okay.
And they only sold Latin things like Goya and Latin coffee, and like, they just sold all like that's all they sold.
And it was
right?
the home team. They just played for their home team.
That's all it was, right? And so, like, you know, they were, you know, these people are like, you know, they had the manager was this Mexican lady, and like, they know their tequila. You know what I'm saying? And you know, here's the thing. As a black man coming into these spaces, I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, yo, who is this dude?
They're a little on guard.
Right. Who is this dude trying to sell me tequila, right?
Like, how you gonna tell me about it?
How you gonna tell me about it? I've been drinking tequila since I was 5,
Since
right?
I was real red.
Like, and so I'm sitting there and I'm doing my presentation.
Yeah.
You know, but I know because I've been doing it for so long, I know how to gear, like, how to present to certain people.
Yeah.
Right. And whenever I'm presenting in front of, you know, someone, you know, who is Mexican or whoever, right? Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I know this, right? I'm the master at this. Like, no, I'm going to be like, hey, listen.
I'm a student.
I know you've had a lot of amazing tequila and mezcal in your life. But I don't think you've had this. I want you to try this. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to, I'm gonna literally walk you through the flavor profiles. And they do it. They close their eyes. What do you taste? Do you taste sherry? Yeah, I taste sherry. Do you taste like a bit of pineapple? Do you taste, you know, some fruit forward notes? Yeah, I taste that. Have you ever had a tequila like this before? Like,
never.
No, Papi, no. Right? And I'm just like, there you go. I'll take 20 cases, right? Like, and so I was there for 2 days, and I crushed it, right? And so that was a high for me, like not coming.
That's huge, bro. Congratulations to you, bro, for bringing that win back for the team. Yeah.
Thank you, man. So I brought that win back for the team, but just for me to know that I can be in any space and be who I am and be comfortable and still be able to make great relationships and great connections. Because again, it's bigger. It was bigger than a tequila. It was about the relationships. It was about the connections that I was actually making. So I can go back to Reno, Nevada, and they will remember me. Yo, come through, right? That's a relationship that I formed that would last for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
And then on the opposite side, the lows, man.
Talk that talk.
Listen, man. I'm not throwing nobody on the bus here, man. This just, there was just, again, there was politics.
Okay.
And, as the brand started to grow, certain people left that I really connected with. And I had to deal with the politics, and I was kind of keep it like that. I had to deal with politics. And, listen, I'm a person that, like, I understand that you got a politic in life. That's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
But I want to do my job, and I want to do my job well.
Yeah.
No, forget well. I want to do my job how I do it, and that's at a high level, because I operate at a high level. Higher level vibrations.
It's been proven. High vibrations.
Higher level vibrations is how I operate. And if I can't operate at a high level, then you're stripping me of something. And so there was a whole reorg, a lot of people left, got let go, whatever. And so the energy of the brand, the camaraderie of the brand, to me, just wasn't there anymore.
I got you.
And, hold on. I just had to do what was best for myself and overall my family. But no shame to the brand.
Yeah.
Love the brand.
Yeah.
Phenomenal product.
It served its purpose and its time.
And it was just my time.
It was your time.
It was just my time, man. Like I did what I was supposed to do. I did what God wanted me to do. Mm-hmm. And it was just my time.
And it was your time. Now, I just want to say shout out to you for knowing that, because I think that so often, and I'm speaking from personal experience, we don't know when our time is done somewhere, whether it's done in a relationship, whether it's done at a company, or we don't know when it's done, and we overstay our welcome. You ever heard that term before? I'm sure you have. Like, you overstay your welcome, and when you overstay your welcome in a space where it no longer serves you, where God don't want you, it's going to become, you're going to start to get pushed out, because that's what somebody would do if you're overstaying your welcome at their house. They're like, yo.
All right. I think it sounds like we get ready to go to bed right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You ever be kicking it with a homie or something?
Yeah.
And he like, homie's probably about to go kick it with their girl.
Yeah.
And or the lady about to come over. They like, all right, bro, what y'all about to get into?
Right. What you about to do?
Be like, bro, we kick it all the time. You like, not today. My lady coming over. So I shout out to you for acknowledging that and being able to read the energy and just internally of listening to God saying, being obedient to know that your time was coming to an end. So I want to ask you, what was that initially like for you to tell, maybe it was your wife, the conversation with God that said, okay, I recognize my time is done here and I'm going in a new direction.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was tough. It was tough because, again, when something is good, it's hard to forfeit it, to let it go. And
not just something that is good, but something that you are doing at a high level.
God, man.
At a high level, bro.
Yeah, man. And that's what it was, man. I was doing it at such a high level. And I was just like, and again, it goes back to the ego, right? I was just a man. People, like, my DMs were on fire. My LinkedIn was on fire. Like, people like, yo, sponsorship, Martel.
I can imagine, bro. I can imagine. So you're getting DMs. Your DMs on fire.
DMs on fire.
Everybody commenting.
LinkedIn's on fire, man. And
that's huge, bro. They had the LinkedIn on fire.
Yeah, man.
And IG.
People were messaging me all the time, man. Like, I was getting like big corporate, like big wigs who were like head of like corporate sponsorships and partnerships, and they're reaching out to me to do certain things, and like these were some really dope deals, man. You know, we're talking about like NFL, NBA, like you know, to bring those things to the table, man. And I'm just like, man, like I'm letting all this go. Like this is kind of like what I feel like I'm born to do, God.
Yeah.
But again, like that feeling of being essentially kind of pushed out and just not feeling like, you know, feeling like, yo, I'm putting in a lot of work here. Like, y'all not see? Do you not see what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
And you know, listen, when new people come in, they don't know what you did in the past, right?
Yeah, that's old news to them.
It's old news. It's a new regime, man. And I just personally didn't have the energy to try to like prove myself to a whole.
And why should you?
Why should I? Like I came, I saw, I conquered, right? You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, okay, now it's time for me to gracefully bow out, and then to give that opportunity to somebody who is coming into the game. Like, did it? Like it was a blessing. I asked God for it. He blessed me with it. But now it's just like I need God's like. I told God where I want to be, and I told God that I want to be at the next level, at the highest level. Yeah. And he's like, okay, like, but you're going to have to, and I said this before, like, you are going to have to I'm going to have to strip you of everything that, like, I was coming in. It's like you come into a house and you all muddy and you playing football and your mom's like, listen, before you come into this house, like, you're going to have to strip, like, take all that stuff off, throw it in the wash, right? Before, like, and that's how it was for me. Like, I was coming into his house, and he was like, you got to take all that off. Yeah. Like, because you trying to go here, like, you can't go here. Like, you got mud. You still got mud on you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I had to, and I'm still doing, like, I'm still in that process.
In real time.
Of being cleansed constantly. And God is, not only is he cleansing me, but he's making me aware. Like, I'm so much now aware of, like, okay, now I don't need to be doing that, or okay, I need to be sharp here, or okay, I need to be studying, or okay, like I need, like, you know what I mean? Okay, I need to go to bed early, like all like it's just different now. And also too, having a son, like I'm like, now he's starting to see everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, bro, he's watching me. Your little man watching, bro. And I wanna man, that transition from there, I just want to, give God the glory for allowing you to be humble enough to know that your time was up there, to be selfless, to be able to say, you know what, I surrender and give this over to the next generation, the next person that's coming up. Yeah. And to let all of that go, bro. Like, I can imagine, like you say, your DMs and partnerships, all of that, to let that go and to trust. And at a crucial time, right? Where, shout out to you and Sid for allowing me to I captured the baby. Yeah, you did. In the baby shower. Me and my wife was there. Shout out to my wife. She was in attendance. She was awesome. Yo, man, shout out to y'all. I captured, awesome, bro. We really family, bro.
You captured so many amazing moments. And it's funny because we was building a deck the other day, and we building this deck out. I'm like, yo, we need to get some pictures for this deck. And I'm looking at these pictures. I'm like, yo, Candy took all these pictures of us.
Yo, that's
pictures
crazy.
Of me. I'm like, yo, this is all Handy right here. So I'm like, you played and still are playing such an integral part in our lives, man. And it goes back to what I said about relationships. Yeah. Right? And how relationships are truly, truly worth their weight in gold. They're worth so much more than gold because, again, at the end of the day, relationships are all we have in this world, and how we treat people is so important. And that's all that people remember. People remember when you treat them good. People remember how they feel when they first met you.
Yeah. And people don't forget that.
Ever.
And with that being said, bro, we're going to get to your how you transition from Lobos, and we're going to talk about the phone call that you gave me, because you let me know when it was about time, and I definitely was shocked.
A lot of people were.
I was excited because like I'm a man of God like you, and I know I'm like, hold up, I know there's something bigger at work, and you my guy, so it's bigger than for me too. It's bigger than the brand, bro. Like, I'm with you for life. We brothers, and we've always made that distinction. Like, yo, we brothers, and there's loyalty there. So more than and before your role that you stepped in that you told me about. I want to talk about one of the most important roles that you now have, bro. I want to talk about congratulating you on becoming a father, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Let's get that up,
Thank you, bro. I love that. I love that,
bro.
I love that.
And I want to say shout out to my wife for making sure that I highlighted that because like I had that somewhere in there, but I want to give that flowers, bro. You are a father now,
Yes,
bro. And I believe, like, I can only imagine that right there, inspired and fueled that decision to depart and part ways and recognize that the time was over there.
Yeah.
So how has that been, being a father, bro?
Well, this is how amazing God is, and we give him all the glory, man. God, this is a new chapter in my life. Mm-hmm. Like Lobos was a chapter.
Yeah.
And now coming into fatherhood, I truly feel like God was like, all right, like you did that, you had your fun.
Yeah.
And not saying that you can't have fun when you have kids, but it's just like now this is where I need you to be. This is how I need you to be thinking.
Yeah.
Right? And so God was like, this is the new chapter.
Yeah.
Right?
New
so
season.
This is a new season, right? And it's an amazing season, man, but it's not an easy season because understand that growing up, like I said to you, I grew up in a single parent household. Like, my father was around, and we had a relationship young when I was younger, like obviously taking me to movies and stuff like that. But like, it wasn't, I always say this, like my father didn't teach me how to shave. My father didn't teach me how to drive, right? And I'm not throwing shade on my dad.
But it's just the truth.
But it's just the truth. Like we just didn't have that relationship.
Okay.
Right? And so everything that I've learned to how to be a man is things that I picked and plucked from other fathers or from men that was in my life. My uncle, my grandfather, one of my mom's best friends, and things that I saw on TV, Carl Winslow, you know what I'm saying? Philip Banks.
Uncle Phil, right? Phil, yeah.
Like I just plucked and pulled things that I saw and I thought that, oh, maybe this is what a father's like, or this is something that I feel like is a fatherly trait. And being a father is a learning process, man. And when I see my son, I see myself, right? Mm-hmm. So fatherhood is like almost like a mirror, bro. Like you're constantly self-examining, right? And especially if you are a very involved father, you want to be good. You want to be involved because I don't want to be the dad that my son was like, man, he always worked. I didn't get to see him like that.
Yeah.
Like he never made it to my basketball games, my football games. Like, nah, like I want to be the dad that's coaching the games. You know what I'm saying? And I also want to be the dad that's taking you to Monaco for Formula One racing. Like, I want you to see the fly shit. Like, I want my son to be in rooms with his counterparts and be like, oh yeah, we did that. Like, yeah, we did Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, we summered in Paris. Like, like I want him to talk that and it be so effortless. Like,
it's gonna be there too, bro.
It's gonna be there, man.
It's gonna be there, bro.
I know it is, man. So fatherhood, man, has been an amazing journey. My son has been growing. Like I'm seeing him now. He's starting to teeth, and I'm just like, man, like. I still can't believe that I'm a father.
Yeah, bro.
It's the crazy part, right?
Yeah, no, it's dope to see.
And
it's definitely dope to see, bro.
And I'm like, God, like you have granted me with probably the best gift that I'd ever have in my life. I feel like this one's gonna shake up the world because, like I said, man, 2025. I said, God, man, I want to. I got so much to share with the world. Yeah, and I've been chilling. I've been chilling,
bro.
I've been chilling.
Yo, you've been chilling like so much that like. I'm excited for what God is about to do in your life, bro. Yeah. I'm excited for what God is about to do in your life. And just thinking about, like, you having a son, bro. You guys having a kid and just the joy and excitement I see from that. And then when you call me and let me know, like, the new direction that you're going in, right? Yeah. All of that right there just, like, got me hyped, bro. So when I didn't see you initially make any post about anything, bro, I thought that was so like cool. Yeah. Like, cause you're a really cool dad. Yeah. No pun intended. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Cool Dad. Shout out to Cool Dad.
Yo, shout out to my man Kevin, founder of Cool Dads, man. Love you, brother. Love you, man.
Man, shout out to Kevin. I haven't got a chance to formally meet you yet, but I love what you guys are doing, and I think it's super cool. I'm a cool dad as well. I believe
yes, you are.
I'm pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
you are. Yes,
cool.
You are.
I love my family, bro.
Yes, you are.
I love the ability to be a dad, bro. Yeah. And that right there inspires me. Yeah. And I just want to, he's similar to my wife. My son is behind the camera. He don't like attention.
Love that.
But I'm going to shout out to my guy, you know what I'm saying, Angizo. Shout out to Angizo for just being here.
We got to get you on this couch, man.
Yeah, bro. No, listen, one of these, he going to pull up. He definitely going to pull up because he got, bro, he was beyond his years.
Yeah, I could tell. I could feel it.
And that's my guy right there. He holding the camera down. So shout out to my guy.
Major shout out to you, man. Thank you so much.
Shout out to my wife. Shout out to Big Hanaya. She don't like my daughter. She don't like me calling her Little Hanaya. She got such a big spirit. So, you know, she just snapping. They both just like amazing kids, bro. And I'm just so lucky to have them in my life and just be a part of their life. So, bro, I just love the way you like talk about your son.
Yeah.
I love what that has done for you in your life, bro. Cause like you separated, like you departed I want to say by in a perfect way, right? Some people may not look at it that way because, you know, of course you see the partnerships, you see the trips, you see the traveling, you see the vibe, you just see like the popularity. And for you to walk away from that, bro, that was very commendable. That was honorable. And I think that's what God wanted you to do. And that's a true test of faith and trusting in his plan, not yours, but his, bro, because you walked away from that. You left it. You have your son now, right? Your son is just a light to you. And I seen you just kind of take a step back. And I seen you take a step back from just, you know, just the world. I seen that and I felt that.
Yo, you know, it's funny you say that, man, because so in our, you know, my building, we have our parking attendant in the building, and you know, there's a day guy and there's like the overnight guy, right?
Okay.
And so, you know, when I was obviously like, you know, with Lobos, like, you know, I'm doing events, like, and I'm coming home at like, you know, 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so the night guy always see me, hey, what's up? Da, 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 da. And then it's funny because he saw me recently because again, he works overnight. So like he leaves at like 6 a.m. in the morning. So like as of recently, like I've been having to leave to go to the office at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
And he's like, yo, I don't see you at night no more, man. He's like, that little baby changed your world, huh? And I was like, man, I was like, damn, that's kind of funny, man, to even think about it like that. But it's true. Like I'm not, you know, again, I'm not coming home at 12 o'clock, you know, 1 o'clock, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning, man. I'm so eager to get home to see him.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I'm so eager. Like when I get out of work,
I can tell, bro.
I'd be like, when I'm not home, I'm like, yo, send me pictures of him.
My little man, B.
Like, just send me pictures of him, man.
Send me pictures of my little man,
I just want to see him, man, because, you know, his smile, and like it just lights up the room, man. It just reminds me of me when I was a kid, man. It's funny because I'm gonna take it back even further, man.
Take it back.
When I was in the 7th grade, I don't think I've ever shared this story, but when I was in the 7th grade.
It's exclusive. KEISHA'S husband podcast exclusive.
Yeah, I never shared this story, but when I was in the 7th grade, man, there was 2 of my friends at the time. It was, I still remember their names. It was a gentleman by the name of Marcus Rice.
Okay.
And another gentleman by the name of Joel Montfleury. Now, they won't remember this moment, but I have like elephant's memory.
Yeah,
I remember everything. And we were playing football, and we had a moment, and this is a God moment. Like we had a moment where like I don't even know how the conversation came up, but like we just started talking about our dads, and it was just like, well, my dad's not here, but my dad's not here, but my dad's not here. Like all 3 of us said it. Like, and then we were like, yo, let's make a pinky square. And I was like, what's the pinky square? Like we're gonna like when we have our kids, like we're gonna be there for our kids. Like we're gonna rock with them. We're gonna be there for every single moment, and we pinky squared on it.
Yeah,
I never forget. It was in the playground. It was on the playground behind the wall. There was a wall that we used to. Do you remember the game? There was a game called Kill the Man. Like you throw the ball, like the handball on the wall, pick it up, and run.
Oh yeah, we call that wall ball. In Philly is wall ball.
Yeah,
like
we call
the little tennis ball.
And then like
you gotta get back, and everybody try to punch you.
Right, they would punch you and tackle you, right? And so we had this wall that we would play. We called it Kill the Man, right? And so like we did it behind the wall, and we all of us pinky sweared on it. And I never forgot that moment. That moment, like I'm like, I'm gonna hold promise to that moment. I was in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
And that might be such a small thing to a lot of people, but to me, that's such a big thing because like we were at that age aware of what was happening in our lives and
Yeah.
how we needed our fathers.
Yeah.
Right. But we also had the foresight to be like, yo, we ain't going to do this for the next generation.
Yeah.
I pray that my brothers now, I see my brother, Marcus Rice, he just had a baby girl. Shout out to Marcus Rice. Man.
Shout out to Marcus.
I see him. He's super involved. I don't know what my other brother, Joel Morfleur, is doing. Like, but I pray that he's well. But again, like, to be a father is a blessing because there's a lot of men out there that can't be fathers, and there's also men that just like I don't want to do that, right? Like, or I don't want to take on that responsibility. But like, understand that it is a God ordained responsibility, and the order is this, right? We get our direction from God, right? As men, our wives get our direction from us, and the children get the direction from their mother and their father, right? And so it's so important, and particularly for young men, to see they're watching everything. Like my son, like I could be on my phone and I look over and he's like this.
He watching, like, bro, what's up?
He's like watching, and I'm like, yo, I have to be very mindful of the things that I say. I have to be very mindful of how I move. And it's not, and the amazing thing about it is like, this is not just for him, in front of him. Right? This is an attitude change. This is a shift. This is an adjustment. And so I'm not just changing just for him. I'm changing like for my whole ecosystem, my whole being, right?
All around.
And I want it to be, and it is to fit like this is who I am. Right? And so when the shift happened and I didn't post and I didn't say anything and that was God ordained. Right? Because God's like, the world don't need to know everything you're doing.
It's not necessary.
This ain't necessary. And this ain't for them. Like, this shift and this move is for you.
This us right here, me and you.
Us right here, right? Because again, I'm taking you to places. I'm showing you things that you've never seen before. And in order to do that, you have to do things, right, that you've never done before.
Exactly. Because it would have fed the ego to make the post, to say, hey,
I'm here.
I'm done here and I'm going here, to get that reaction. And I'm honored to be one of the people that you called.
Of course.
Because you called me, and to be honest, I thought it was a call for another booking. Because you definitely would call me. Of
course.
And we curated the vibes. You called me for the vibes.
And those bookings won't stop. I'm just letting you know that.
I know, bro. I ain't worried.
They're not going to stop.
Listen, I ain't worried.
They're just going to look slightly different.
Hey, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that because, bro, because guess what? The bookings are a backdrop to our relationship, bro.
There you go.
They're a backdrop to our relationship because what we have is a brotherhood, and anywhere and anything that you do is a backdrop and is a bonus. I'm in it for the heart and the relationship. And when you called me and told me that, I was honored, right? And I told my wife, and I believe I know she was like, he dad gang, family gang. She's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be looking different. And she understood that, and she was just like, I'm happy for them. And I was like, yo, I would be selfish not to be happy for them. And I'm like, yo, I'm so excited for them, for what they're doing. And then you followed up with, hey, bro, the baby shower is this day. We need you there. And wifey, of course, was there. She was in attendance. And bro, I think that was just so that was so selfless of you to just just move in that way, bro. And just thinking about your family, bro. I think that was so cool, bro. And
and can I say something though?
Please say a lot, bro.
I love that you said that. And I'm talking to the fathers, soon to be fathers, the dads, the men out there, like, understand when you get into this position, it is less about you, right? It is all about your family, right? And it's taking that God approach, that servant leadership approach, where you are literally decreasing yourself to increase your family.
Say that again, bro. Say that again, bro.
Where you are literally decreasing yourself to increase your family, right? Because you are the foundation, right? Like, my wife, again, looks to me like, okay, like, what's the play here?
Yeah.
What's the move here?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Right? And that's an honor. That is an honor for her to be like, to look at me, to say, yo, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Babe, what's the next steps? Like, and so I have to be on my game. I have to be sharp. And knowing that it is not about me. It's really not about me. Like, it's about little man. It's about her.
Yeah.
Like, when I see my wife with my son,
Yeah.
I'm like, God, and I see them in a moment and they're having a great time. I'm like, I need more of that. God, I need her to always feel this way. I need her to never be like, oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with
providing,
with providing and your wife working, but as our job, and call me old school, but
and you told me this on the phone too. You told me this on the phone.
Our job as men is to provide for our family.
Yeah.
Like, God has given us the strength to be able to do so, and the direction to be able to do so. So a man that does not provide for his family, in my opinion, is not a man.
And I couldn't agree more with you. And I'll say in real time, bro, I think that, because, as you can see, and a few people that know me, I had locks before.
Yeah.
Like, you've known me, I had locks, and I cut my hair, right? And I can't even, lie to you. Ever since I cut my hair, bro,
Yeah.
I mean, since I got married and since I cut my hair, I'm not even in control. There's this thing inside of me that's there's this transformation.
Because I'm sure you was known for the locks.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know people was like, yo, Handy, what happened? What happened?
I literally just was walking through the space here, and I saw my cousin's girlfriend, right? And she's like, and I didn't remember where I knew her from. I was like, she's like, and I'm like, and it started coming to me. I was like, oh, I was like, yo, you such, you said, girl. She's like, yeah, I was at your wedding. And I was like, oh, of course you were. But she was like, you cut your hair. And that was just being vulnerable. And
love that.
I'll say that was a sense of comfort. That was a security blanket, and it was an identity for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, I'm just wearing the hat now because I feel like New York, I wanted to show love.
So I peeped that.
I wanted to show love.
Shout
and
out.
bro,
Yeah.
every time I seen you, you always would fly.
Thank you.
I was
bro.
intentional about my outfit, right?
The fit is fly, man. I love the cardigan. I love the New York hat, man. I was gonna say something. I'm like, whoa, you rocking a New York hat?
Yeah, I was like,
sir.
I'm just giving a fly vibe,
Sir. Yes,
humbly
sir.
speaking.
Love
And
it.
you me tell you why I know I feel fly, but you know how I know I'm fly?
You look fly, bro.
Bro, as I was leaving the house, I was coming up the steps. Me and my son was on our way here.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I see you. And bro, he is like, and I don't know if he noticed, but he's like the flyest person I know.
Yeah, I already see. I peeped the denim tears hoodie. You know what I'm saying? I peeped the Asics. I see all that, man.
Bro, it's a tie between him.
Yep, and the Subi jeans. Bro, I'm already on the game, bro. I do this for a living, bro.
Bro, listen, it's a tie between him, his mom, and my daughter. They the flyest three people I know, and you too.
Yeah,
but in my household, bro, they the flyest people I know.
Yep.
And when I tell you, they always care about their presentation, right?
It's so important.
So,
it's so
it
important.
inspired me to care. So I was like, knowing
step your game up,
bro.
Step your game up,
bro. Knowing you was coming today, I had the outfit. And I was like,
that you're clean. Now you clean, bro.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna give him.
I'm gonna have to borrow that cardigan,
bro.
man.
Listen, bro. I was like, yo, I'm gonna give him cardigan. I said the Yankees fit it going. I was just like, I'm just giving him a vibe.
That's a me fit. I will rock this all day. I rock this all day,
bro. I appreciate that, bro.
Thank you, bro.
And it's nothing like, I just love that. The fact that my son is the executive producer today, creative director, he holding it down.
Yep.
And we talking about your son, and we just talking about just new beginnings and just a new creation, bro.
Oh, man.
I just want to tap into something before we continue the new.
Please.
Bro, being a brother, a father, but before you were a father, you were a father figure.
Yeah.
You are a big brother and a mentor.
Yeah.
And I was introduced into that space when you introduced me to, and you're talking about my fit. You said I look fly, right?
Yeah.
There's something that you and your wife created. It was a brainchild for a while, but y'all created and brought it to fruition. It's called look good, feel good. And I look good, feel good right now. But I want to say shout out to the Look Good, Feel Good program.
Yeah.
And I thank you for bringing me on to that, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me, what is the Look Good, Feel Good program? Excuse me.
Man, the Look Good, Feel Good program is a program that my wife and I started. And I'll give you the backstory. So the program started when a friend of mine who worked in education said, listen, Martel, at the time I was in fashion, I was working for a custom clothier. And he said to me, he was like, listen, Martel, like I got these kids in my class and they're over here sagging their pants, right? And these are young black men, and I want to teach them that it's not okay to be out here with your butt showing to the world, right?
Yeah.
And I said, listen, man, I'm like, I don't know if it's my thing to come and talk to kids, but I was like, all right, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I tell my students this all the time, man, about like also taking a leap of faith, because I was also a little scared to be in front of kids, talking to kids about like
That's honest.
how they should look and how they should not look.
That's
right?
honest, bro.
But I understood my assignment as far as just like us and what we're doing to build the next generation. So I actually went to the class, and at the time, like I did something that was very unique. Like I started to show the kids I showed them what I was doing for a living at the time when I was making custom clothes. I was showing the kids how to measure themselves. I was walking the kids through different fabrics.
Okay.
And the kids were trying on stuff, and they were like, yo, Mr. Francois, I feel fly in this, right? Like they were throwing on like jackets and throwing on button-ups, and they were just like, yo, like immediately their posture changed.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is something, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, God spoke to me in a moment and was just like, this is something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got something here.
Yeah.
And so the program went from, okay, let's teach. It then evolved into a Dress for Success program.
Okay.
Right. And it was just like, how do we teach our young men and our young women to present themselves in the right way? Because one thing that my mom, shout out to my mom, will always say to me, my mom will always be like, hey, your first impression is your lasting impression. And she would say that to me every first day of school, from kindergarten all the way up to like when I was a senior in high school, right?
Yeah.
And so again, I was just like, it went into a Dress for Success program, and then we started providing that Dress for Success a resource for the students. And then it was just like, yo, there needs to be more tied to this, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, the kids look good, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's look good, feel good, right?
Yeah.
And now they feel good, right?
Yeah.
And so what's next for them after this, right? Like, you can look good and feel good, but how are you applying that to the world, right?
Yeah. Hold on real quick. Anthony, shut that door for me.
Yeah,
please.
I was like, I'm getting some feed.
Yeah, I'm getting some feed because they got an event going on.
Yeah.
And I just shut that door.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And so
thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much, man. And so the program, then I was like, yo, how do we apply how they look and feel into the world? And so the program grew from them not sagging their pants, a Dress for Success program, and a grooming program a bit. And then it went into what it is now, which is a career readiness program. So the Look Good, Feel Good program is a career readiness program. We are giving our students the opportunity to get internships, shadowing programs, job opportunities, but we're prepping them for the real world. And how are we doing that? We're walking them through mock interviews. We're doing resume building. We're doing goal setting. We're also taking them on trips. And those trips are actually like really, really amazing trips through partnerships.
And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, through partnerships that I've been able to, again, through relationships, right?
Yeah.
Been able to bring to the table to these students. Like, we've partnered with LVMH, and now we're in our third year of our cohort with LVMH and our partnership with LVMH.
Yeah.
Our first
Hold up.
What's up?
LVMH.
LVMH stands for Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. LVMH is a billion-dollar conglomerate company, and an umbrella company, and under the company are brands like Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy, Ramova, Dior, Tag Heuer, Tiffany's, you know, just to name the few, right? Like,
and I was able to, I want to say shout out to Look Good, Feel Good and you, because you hired me as the photographer.
100%.
I captured that when we went to LVMH and we see these things in real time and with the students. So I just want to say, bro, that was an amazing experience.
Wow, man, I'm still blown away to this day.
Yeah, so continue. But I just wanted to highlight that because that was huge, bro.
Thank you, bro.
That was huge. So continue to talk about the LVMH, talk about the other relationships that you have through Look Good, Feel Good.
Yeah, so again, you know, one
because y'all been crushing it, bro.
Oh, we're on a roll, man. We just took our students to the back of house of Tiffany's, which is like their fulfillment center where orders are shipped and things are repaired, and you know, like it's the heart and soul of the Tiffany brand, Tiffany & Co. brand. And so, like, again, the students now get the opportunity to be in these spaces, to meet these people. And what was amazing about Tiffany & Co. is, like, they're back of house, man. Those people have been there for 40, 50. There was a guy there who's been there for 62 years. He's a hand engraver.
Wow.
He's a master hand engraver. And so Tiffany & Co. basically takes him around the world. So, like, if you want to get a ring engraved, if you want to get, like, your plaque engraved, he actually engraves the trophies. So I didn't know this, but Tiffany & Co. makes all the trophies for some of the major sports. So NFL, the Super Bowl trophy, the NBA trophy, the NBA in-season trophy.
So many people probably didn't know that.
So many people
I didn't know that.
Right?
That's huge, right?
So Tiffany & Co. makes the trophy. So our students got the opportunity to be in the trophy room, see the trophy room, see the people who worked in the trophy room, who've been working at the fulfillment center for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right?
Wow.
So that opportunity for a child to be like, yo, I never see this. I didn't even know this was a possible career for me.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we're doing. It's all, the Look Good Feel Good program is about exposure. It is about exposing our young men and women to things that they've never seen before.
Yeah.
It's about taking them out their current environment, right? And putting them in spaces that they're like, wow. Like we did, and you couldn't make this one, but we took our students to Tatiana's. Tatiana's by Chef Kwame.
Okay.
Right.
I remember that.
Yep. So Tatiana's by Chef Kwame is one of the most renowned restaurants in New York City. The hardest reservations to get into. Like you got Jay-Z and Beyonce dining there. You got Maverick Carter, LeBron James. Like you got Jeff Bezos who was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we got high school students. And let's just mull on that.
They'll never forget that, bro.
The Look Good Feel Good program was able to shut the restaurant down and was about 25 students and 4 faculty members an exclusive dining experience that they would never ever in their life be able to do, right? I'm not saying that they wouldn't be able to do it. I'm just saying at that level where the restaurant is being shut down for them.
Nothing but God, bro.
It's literally nothing.
Nothing but God and relationships.
100%.
Relationships,
it's 100%. Bro. So if we pull anything from this conversation is A, always give God the glory, B, but also nurture the people that God is putting in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? And really examine every single relationship, every single person that you come in contact with, right? Because that connection that you make with that person, you're a part of their ecosystem. You're a part of their web. If we did like that old school web diagram,
yeah.
You put the person's name in the middle and you start to kind of web it out.
Yeah.
You're part of that person's ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not to be taken lightly.
At all.
Because that one connection, that one phone call, that one door being open can change your whole life.
It's life changing, bro. And I've seen it in real time because to be somebody, I hear about the Look Good Feel Good program and I see it, but to be someone that may use, you know, growing up in our culture, you hear about Moet, you hear about Hennessy, you hear about Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
You know, we use Dior and everything like that. And to be Tiffany, you see these things.
Yeah.
But to be in a place with the workers and the staff that where it's created and to know the history of it and the story of it is, bro, it's phenomenal and it's nothing but a blessing. And I just want to say, I want to shout out to you.
Thank you, bro.
The Look Good, Feel Good
Shout
program.
out to my wife.
Shout out to Sid,
Shout
bro.
out to Sid.
Shout out to Sid. And I seen how I saw how you and Mr. Corey.
Yeah.
You know, you guys were like just huddled up, and I could tell that relationship.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey Smith.
Shout out to Corey Smith. You guys were just like, you know what I mean? Like there, bro. Y'all was there, and it was really dope to see two black men like just excited about encouraging and inspiring the youth.
Yeah, because again, man, everything that we do is bigger than us.
Yeah.
Like, we, believe it or not, do not have a long time on this earth.
Right.
We don't. Our time on this earth is very short and limited. And so we have to make a major, major impact. God gives us the opportunity. Like we won the race, right? Like you take it back to science, man. You know, all the little micro sperms that are in that race swimming, right?
We got those.
You won the race. If you are here,
you won.
You won the race.
Bro, like gladiator style. You just like you won.
That's what I'm saying. So like to come into this world knowing that, yo, I already won the race, right?
Yeah.
You know, but you're going up against so many things that as a believer that you're going up against culture and what culture says. Culture says you got to do this. Culture says you got to be here. Culture says by this age you got to be making this. You got to be driving this. You got to be flying this way. You got to be going to these trips. Like, nah, man. Like everyone has their own destiny, right? And you legit have to quiet that noise.
Bro, I was thinking that earlier, like quiet the noise of the culture, bro, and tune in with God.
I just told your son that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I told your son that. When you pulled away from the bed, I just told him that. I'm like, yo, you have to quiet the noise because understand that culture does not want you to be where God needs you to be.
Of course not.
Right? There's going to be so many distractions. You know, there's parties, there's the music, there's drugs, there's all these things that are going to take you away from your purpose.
Yeah.
And as believers, we live in purpose. We cannot, like, I tell my wife this all the time. I live in my purpose.
Yeah.
Like I cannot live without my purpose. You know what I'm saying? So like we are moving in a space of purpose, and there's so many distractions, social media, all these things are distractions. But if we just say, stay in isolation, and if I go back to the 40 days and 40 nights, God was in isolation. Right?
Talk about it, man. Yeah.
Jesus was in isolation.
Yeah.
And in isolation is where he found his power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that's why Superman, and for my Superman or just my comic fans here, Superman has the fortress of solitude. Right? He flies to a place that no one in this world can get to. It's like the North Pole, but him.
It looked like the North Pole.
Like the North Pole.
Just everything just everywhere.
Everything's everywhere. Like he's in a place that he has straight solitude, straight like isolation, because in that isolation, in those quiet places where you find your power, where you find your strength to then go into the world and be who God needs you to be.
Yeah. Bro, that was an incredible like analogy.
Yeah.
That was an incredible just like breakdown. And bro, it resonated with me. And I think that it's gonna inspire.
I pray it does, man.
And resonate with so many people, bro. And then next I wanna just basically, like as we talk about the look good, feel good, those achievements and just that encouragement that you gave to so many young people that you continue to give.
Yeah.
I wanna ask you, where is the Look Good, Feel Good program located?
Yeah.
And can anybody just sign up? And will it grow anywhere else?
So here's our goal, man. So right now, currently the Look Good, Feel Good program is in the state of New York and it's in New Jersey. Our goal is to grow it. Like our goal is to make it a national program, right? We are partnering with Newark schools right now. We're also partnering with New York City, the New York City Board of Education.
Major.
Thank you. So that allows us to go into different schools and speak to different students and impact different students. We're growing it. Like we're still growing it, right? So we need more heads. Like we need more people. We need employees, right? Like this is legit boots to the ground. Strap your bootstrap this thing and like go with it. Like, and so for a 2, 3, sometimes 4-man team, you know, if you're there, right? Like, we have been able to do some amazing things. But just imagine if we had like 15 to 20 people on ground, right? What we can do. So our goal is to bring it to the state of Pennsylvania, to bring it to the city of Philadelphia, you know, because
let's do it.
Listen, man, I love Philly. You know, my wife is from Philly.
Yeah. And
I know when I talk to young men here from Philadelphia, how hungry, how eager they are for opportunities, because I feel like, and I'm going to say it, like, there's not a lot of opportunities here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And that irks me, because Philly's such a dope city. And I'm like, yo, why is there there's not a lot of, the opportunities are so far and few. And so we need people like you, myself, like, you know, BJ, you know, my other cousin Brandon, who's in real estate, you know, like, we need people like us who are essentially change makers to come to Philadelphia and create those opportunities. Those opportunities are not just going to be given to us. See, the thing with New York City, what makes New York City so different is like it's everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
It's accessible.
It's vast. It's like I can go to Harlem and tap in with somebody. I can go to Chinatown and tap in with somebody. Right.
Yeah.
Like, but they're so like tight here. But we need to open up those opportunities, man. Because again, the talent is here. There's so much talent. Like, not only is there
talent.
There's untapped talent in Philly, and people are hungry out here, man.
They want it, bro.
They want it.
Bro, I'm getting on the mega bus every week to come up there for the opportunity, bro.
To New York for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And so that's what let me tell you something. My father-in-law is a photographer. And,
OG, shout out to Mel Epps.
Shout out to Third Eye Pro, Mel Epps, man. We love you, man. And he would always tell me these stories about when he started off as a photographer and the opportunities that he was able to receive by going to Florida and doing all these things, right? And I said to myself, I see a lot of him in you, right? And so, like, yeah, to your point, I could have hired a New York City photographer to come and shoot what I was doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I want Handy to get on that bus. Like, I want him to be excited. Like, you know, there was events, and I'm like, yo, Handy there 2 hours in a bit. Like, yo, Tells, I'm here, bro.
And I'm like, yo, bro,
I'm ready.
I'm locked in, bro.
I'm ready, right?
I'm locked in.
And so that, again, like, you know, you in the Bible it says that, right? You judge a person by their character, by what they show you, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you showed me that you were hungry. You showed me that you wanted it. Like, you never ever was just like, nah, yo, my bad, I can't make it. Like, no, you were just like, yo, like, I'm here 2 hours in advance. Like, what do you need me to do? I chill.
Yeah.
Like, you need me to help with something? Like, you know, you were always proactive in that way. And I'm like, yo, like, somebody like that, like, I wanna give an opportunity to. I wanna help out in the best possible way, you know? So, you know, so to go back to that, like, the Look Good Feel Good program is on par to be a national program.
And I can see that we're gonna definitely like speak that into fruition and bro, claim that, because I see that happening, bro.
It's already like, God already showed it to me.
Yeah.
You know, because the things that I'm doing right now, the grown people are not getting the chance to do this.
Facts, bro.
Grown ass people are not getting the opportunity to go into these places and meet with these people.
Facts.
And I'm literally spoon feeding the best of the best talent in these students to these major companies.
And those students will not forget it. And these students will be the ones that, like, you look up a few years from now and they're going to be like able to also like, hey.
They're going to be like, Mr. Francois, remember me?
Yeah, remember me? Yo, check this out. Look what we got going on over here. Or they're able to encourage their family. Now that graph that you're talking about, bro, you're in there because look at that seed that you were able to plant through the blessing of God, bro.
Ooh, I love that you said that. So, our students at the Newark School of Fashion and Design, shout out to Principal Pitts, Miss Pitts.
Shout out to Miss Pitts.
And the Newark School of Fashion and Design. They had a fashion show, almost like a runway competition show that they did that was filmed and aired, which was
huge.
Dope. Which was
huge.
So dope. And
I know you was proud.
I was so proud, man. So they had me as one of the judges for this film show, and it was so dope. But they did a kickoff launch and for the show, and I had the opportunity to meet some of the parents.
Yeah.
And I never met the parents before. Mind you, I've only dealt with the students. So I was walking into something, not even knowing. I had parents coming up to me like, yo, my son talks about you all the time. Thank you so much for what you're doing to him, like what you're doing for him. He's so excited about like the next opportunity, the next thing's just showing him. And I'm like, wow, like Sydney and I never thought about the Look Good, Feel Good program as something that would impact parents. Like this was solely for the students. But like to see that it's actually impacting families.
Yeah.
It's huge, bro.
That's huge, bro. That's so huge. And I remember like I was hold on one second. How we look on the battery on there? It's rolling? Yeah. All right, bet. Perfect. Because that's what I love about this camera. This joint roll.
Is this the battery right here? Top left, it says 0M.
No, it should say like bars, or like 100% or something like that. It should say percentage on the screen. Just say percentage.
Nah, I don't see it.
Let me see. As long as it's rolling though, right? Yeah, we good.
Okay.
So,
Nothing red or nothing.
Oh, are we good? So, something that I seen in real time was when I was looking through the photos. I remember editing when we went to the Dior store, and I remember it was like a picture.
The Dior global flagship store.
The Dior the Dior global flagship store. Bro, we shut that down.
Shut it down.
We shut it down, and I was like, wait a minute, no customers.
We were the only ones in there.
No customers were in there. It was just us.
We was the only ones in there.
Bro, that was like huge. I'm
That's
like,
God.
Nothing but God, bro.
Nothing but God.
That's nothing but God, bro.
Right.
We was in there, just really touching the Dior fabrics, just getting the history of it.
We had kids holding, and I'm gonna go back to that. I got something else. We had kids holding $100,000, $200,000 bags. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
When we went to Tiffany & Co., the fulfillment center, they gave us access to be able to, they have like obviously like some of their more rare pieces.
Yeah.
They had a piece that was damn near $3 million.
What?
It was this beautiful diamond gem encrusted necklace, bro.
That's like setting off a movie, bro.
Like the thing was in a vault.
Yeah.
In a vaulted case.
That's like the movies.
And they opened it, and they had the kids like literally be able to touch it and pass it. And in that moment, God said, he told me to tell them, and I said to all of them, I said, guys, all of you in this room are deserving.
I'm glad you told them that.
I had to, because I'm like, understand that you are touching a almost $3 million piece of jewelry. There are people in their lifetime that would never touch anything that is worth that much money. Touch.
Yeah.
Touch.
Bro, usually they be like, yo, look, but don't touch.
But touch. Like you got to, they touched it.
Yeah.
They like passed it. They took, like they were in awe of it.
And trusted with it. Like,
Entrusted with it. And so I'm like, you guys are deserving. Understand how God is moving in this room. Like, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Really, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Look where you guys are. You guys are in a fulfillment center. At Dior, they were in Dior. They shut the store down for them. We went from their global their global flagship store to the global headquarters.
I remember we in the office floors where they like, I see they had like different like Dior's in a case, and
Correct.
we see the Dior sign.
Correct.
And where they like talking about a meeting about what's coming next.
Correct.
I'm like, bro, we are in like, and they like gave them a presentation.
You are in the belly, literally you're in the belly of the beast, man. Like you are in the thought process of this company.
Yeah.
That every move that is made, every piece of clothing or bag or whatever, fragrance. We're in the room where the decisions are being made, right? And so,
nothing but God, bro.
It's legit nothing but God, and it just gives me still goosebumps thinking about it, And sometimes I'm guilty to. I'm not gonna say take these moments for granted, but like. I'm such a like a go-getter. Like, yo, what's next? Like, what we doing
You
next?
rushed past it.
I almost rushed past it. So even sitting here talking to you, I'm like, damn, we did that.
That was huge, bro. Like, I still be like in awe about it because, you know, MJ tells me, shout out to MJ.
Big shout out to MJ.
Big MJ.
Love you, MJ.
We appreciate you, bro, my guy.
Yes, sir.
And he told me, I remember, you know, that was like early on in our relationship, me and him just building.
Yeah.
I took a flick for him in front of the joint. He was like, yo, bro, that's really that's like my favorite photo.
Yeah.
He told
of
me
him
that.
when he's like on the camera.
On the camera in front of the Dior
yes,
store.
fire.
Flagship Dior store.
Yeah, global flagship.
Global flagship. Let's not play around with that because that's huge.
Global.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were in there, but shout out to the Look Good, Feel Good program for that, bro. And I'm just so excited to see and be a part of the continued growth, success, and just enrichment with it. And so that's huge, bro.
He would shoot an event and then we would come home. Like, let's say the event, like my wife's 30th birthday, which was epic.
Yeah, that was huge, bro.
Was epic.
That was epic, bro.
That was so epic, man. That was such a, again, I don't even want to touch on that moment, man. That moment, when you talk about excellence at its finest, man, we had our friends and family in one of the most exclusive rooms. Private. We were in the back of the Grill, which is in Midtown, which is a steakhouse, which is part of Major Food Group. Shout out to Mario Carbone and everyone at Major Food Group. And so we were able to rent out that back section.
Major,
man.
amazing setup, and you did the arrangements.
I did all the arrangements.
The floor. Ooh, you snapped on
listen,
that, bro.
that's something that people don't know about me at the core, man. Like, I love interior design. I've done a ton of interior design projects for clients. Like a ton of interior design projects for clients, and I love design, bro. Like, I look at fashion, if I could put clothes on somebody, I could clothe a room, right? And so and at a very young age, I was the kid who was like on a train going to school, and I would see like a businessman who would get off at like Wall Street or something like that, and I would be looking at his outfit, like, but I wouldn't necessarily know like the terminologies for certain things on his outfit. Yeah. But I would be like, man, I like the way his tie matches with the lapel. I like the way his pocket square is like in a certain way. I like how shiny his shoes are. I like the fact that his pants falls right on the top of his shoe. Like, so I knew all of these things. And I just
putting it together.
And I would literally be on a train and I would literally like play this thing in my mind. Like, I don't like the way this person dressed. If this person would have did this, right? I would have did like, and I used that to get into styling and to grow how I grew it. But like
an architect, if
like
you will.
Like an architect. But then I grew that skill set into interiors where like I'm looking at tables, I'm looking at flowers. Like, I love doing flower arrangements. My wife would tell you, like, every month we get a fresh bouquet of flowers to the house that I clip, I cut. Yeah. I make sure that the arrangements are perfect. I take certain flowers from the arrangements. I clip them, I cut them, I put them in the bathroom, I put them in the bedroom in a certain way, to a certain light. Like, I'm very anal about these things because, again, like, I'm about aesthetic all the way, right? Like, aesthetic is a part of lifestyle. Like, and living a good lifestyle doesn't necessarily mean you need a lot of money, but it's just how you live your life, right? Like, you can buy fresh flowers for the crib, right? Yeah. You can eat, certain things that are healthy and nutritious to the body, right? Yeah. If you can't afford a gym membership, you can buy a yoga mat and do some push-ups and do some crunches, right? Like, everything is like, it's aesthetic, bro, and how you live your life. You want to live your best life. I always say this to myself, man. I want to give back, when I die, I want to give back God the best body that I can give him, right? I want to
return on investment.
I want to give him I don't want to die like this, like, person who had liver cancer and all, and it's not a shade to anybody, right? Yeah. But like, I want to be the best version of myself physically. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be able to give that back to God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
As you should. And that's like our roles and our duties and like our responsibility. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And talking about giving God back, his body, and I think about his mind and just our beings, giving it back to him better than we got it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, that phone call when you let me know that you were transitioning
Yes, sir.
the new direction,
Yeah.
and you let me know the new space that you were going in. So
Yeah.
I just want to say congratulations
Thank you so
and
much.
announce, that you are now in the finance space.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so shout out to you for
Yeah.
coming into the finance
Thank you.
space.
But you know what? Thank you so much. I started my career in the finance space.
Wow, didn't know that. Right? I thought you hit the ground like just super fly,
Nah,
man.
man, it's kind of a full circle moment. So when I got out of school, when I left school, I didn't graduate from school, by the way. When I left, I was working for a bank at the time, and I kind of worked my way up through the bank. I was a teller. And
No pun intended, Martel.
Martel, the teller, right? I started off as a teller, learning how to count money. And then I transitioned into a banker, and then I transitioned to a private banker, relationship banker, and a business banker.
Okay.
Being a business banker was really really because it was aligned with the things that I was kind of doing, that I've always been doing, which was like helping small businesses kind of come off the ground, right? I was selling what we called merchant services into restaurants and some other businesses. So merchant services, like when you swipe your credit card, right? Like that machine.
Yeah.
The bank would sell you that machine, right? So I was doing that.
So you're responsible for selling that machine?
Yeah, I was responsible for selling that machine into businesses, right?
Okay.
And this was very early. This was like 2008. This was 2007, 2008. So I was doing that, man. And I was just like, man, I wanted more, man. My love has always been in the fashion and lifestyle industry. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do more, man. And so I jumped into that. And my journey through fashion, through lifestyle, through starting my own business, through working for, consulting for spirit brands, consulting for, Mercedes-Benz and watch brands and all that. It was kind of a full circle moment for me. And, an opportunity when leaving Lobos came about for me to be in the finance space.
Yeah.
As, an advisor, a wealth advisor. I just thought it just made so much sense. It makes so much sense because I, by nature, love building relationships.
Yeah.
And by nature, like you said, I love taking care of people.
Yeah.
Right. And so if I can take care of people and curate a sexy room and everybody having a good time, who's to say that I can't, curate and help someone's finance
in a sexy way,
in a very sexy
way,
way,
in a sexy way with the money, bro,
and really help people understand how money moves.
Yeah,
really help people understand how to manage money, right? How to manage portfolios, like that's all the stuff that I'm doing now, right?
Yeah, and
it's amazing, man, to see like. Because now I'm in a space right now where I'm thinking about my retirement, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
and were you thinking? Real. And were you thinking about that when you were like prior?
No, I wasn't. And my wife was always thinking about it. She would always give me crap about it, like, "Yo, you need to like really be honing in on your retirement."
And you probably like, "Oh, I hear you, but
I gotta work now." But like the space that I'm in now is just like, "Yo, when we get to 65, 67, 70, like, are we gonna be working as hard?" No, like,
yeah,
and. Our greatest asset is the ability to work and make money.
Yeah.
And if we can't do that, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Right? If we can't go to work, if you can't shoot this podcast or, shoot, right? Like that is your greatest asset. If you're disabled, right? Like all those things like to take into consideration, right? And so like we really, really need to think about our financial future and our financial well-being, right?
Yeah.
And again, I have a mentality. I call it the Robin Hood mentality.
Okay.
Right? And the Robin Hood mentality is you steal from the rich to give to the poor. And I'm not saying that our people are poor, but what I'm saying is that there's information out there that we just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to the realm of finance, right?
Yeah.
There's just things that we just don't know, right?
We don't know. We need access to.
And we need access, and that's what my job has always been, is to give access, right? We go back to the conversation that we started earlier about the brands and the people having access.
Yeah.
Right? And so now I'm just basically doing the same thing.
Rinse and repeat.
Nothing has changed. But now, I'm doing it, I personally feel like, in a more impactful way, right? Because our finances retirement, our kids going to school,
Money management.
wedding, money management, all the major things in our lives require money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you can't do that, if my son Max doesn't have the ability to go to college because I can't afford it, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's taking loans out.
Yeah.
Right. And then when he's 21, 22, he's sitting on 150, 200, 300, and the college is only going up. Right.
Yeah.
He's sitting on so much debt.
Yeah.
And what does that do? That debt then takes him away from from him being able to grow any sort of wealth. Right.
Yeah.
Because he's already starting behind the curve. Right.
On the 8-ball.
On the 8-ball. Right. So now it's just like, how do we put systems and things in place? This way, when he turns 18, it's like, yo, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
That's already taken care of, right?
Yeah.
Now can you imagine coming out of school with a degree and not having to worry about debt?
Bro, your mind is like so free, and it's focused on what it should be focused on, the opportunities.
The opportunities. You're not just taking opportunities because you got to pay off school debt. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you're like, I got to take the first job that comes to me because I got to pay this debt down. Now you are in a position where you're behind because you're just taking the first thing that's given to you.
Yeah.
Right? You're not really like, let me weigh my options out. This, this company's giving me, 180. This company's giving me 250, great benefits package. I got to travel. I got an expense account, right? Like the options are just not there. And so like to give my son the financial freedom to make those decisions, that's my job. That's my job
It's a
as
gem
his father.
right there, bro.
But here it is, man. I'm in a space right now where I'm learning that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a space right now where I'm working with the most brilliant people in the world, bro. And I have a seat at the table. I'm listening to these conversations. I'm listening to how people are talking about how they're talking about money. Mm-hmm. The way they talk about money, everything is for their heirs. Nothing is for them, right? It's all about the heirs, right? And it's such a selfless, an amazing approach and how you should be thinking about money, because culture tells us, yo, get that money, stack that money, get that money, right?
Grind.
And so when you get the money, what are you doing, right? You're going to buy a Benz, you're going to buy jewelry, you're going to buy clothes, and all those things are depreciating assets, man. All those things don't mean absolutely nothing. There's no return on investment on any of them things. The minute you take that Benz, you drive it off the lot, that shit is depreciating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how are we not thinking about things that are going to actually pay us? How are we not thinking about real estate? How are we not thinking about, certain life insurance policies that are that accumulate cash value in the policies that are going to actually pay us?
He talking that talk.
Don't get me started, bro.
Hey, bro, listen. I just want to say, bro, like I'm so excited about the moment you told me about this, new path,
Yes, sir.
new venture.
Yeah.
I was excited about you then. I'm even more excited for you now because, like, I seen in your story the other day, I think you posted one of the books, or like I know when you're not online, which will be for weeks, I don't see you.
Yep.
But then you post, I can only imagine. I know behind the scenes you're putting in the work. I know you locked in, and I know you're determined. And I'm just honored to be a part of, the journey with you and your brother. And, I look forward to getting the gems from you so that I can apply it to my household and my family, because ever since we had that conversation just about our responsibility as men and just growing, bro, you put a battery on my back and you inspired me, and I've just been on that type of time as of lately.
Oh my God.
The conversations with my wife, I've just been on it, bro. Like I've just been thinking differently, and I'm with you, bro.
Listen,
I'm with you.
This move, you just put something. That's God. It's all God.
Nothing but God, bro.
But this move is so, again, not about me, and this move is about the information I can share with you.
Yeah.
This is information I can share with your son, right? Your son is 17. How old are you? 17, right? So he got his whole life ahead of him.
Yeah.
So the information that he receives, the right information that he receives right now, will change the course of his life, bro.
Yeah.
At 21, man, he should be, you should be, half a millionaire. You should have 250 in the bank. Like, you should really be thinking about how you are, because you're bright, you're smart. what are you doing? And that's why when I talked to you, I was just like, what are the actionable steps that you're taking to fulfill those goals and those dreams that you have for your family?
Yeah.
You know, and I want to touch on goal setting just for a bit, man. Like we talk about things on a high level. Like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but we don't actually put a plan behind it, right?
Talk about it.
And now that I'm in these spaces, man, I see even with finances, bro, when you are building a portfolio, there's a goal. There's a goal for retirement. There's an amount of money that you want for your retirement, right?
Yeah.
You want to make the most amount of money to be able to have it essentially. That's your salary when you're not working anymore, right?
Okay.
And so there has to be a goal and plans set in place to get there. Like, we can't continue to just get money and let that money fly out of our hands, bro.
Yeah, it's over for that, bro.
We really, really have to think about, what's the goal here?
Yeah.
Like, where are we trying to be? You know, am I trying to have $1 million in the bank? Am I trying to have $750, $250, $500,000 in the bank? How much is it going to pay me? What account am I putting it in to get a certain rate of return to give me X amount of money on a monthly basis that will be a supplemental income for me, right? So we have to think about these things, and so we really, really have to put a plan in place. And so I'm in a space right now where I'm seeing that. I'm in a space right now where I'm actually helping my clients be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful,
decent, bro.
No, it's a beautiful thing, bro, because to understand where God is, and this is the first time I'm actually talking about this openly, to understand where God has taken me, you know, from being in finance to being in fashion to being in consulting to working with brands to working with spirit brands to working with more luxury brands to now being back in a space where I'm in finance, but I'm in finance in such a different type of way, in such a crazy, crazy, crazy different type of way. And I'm doing it my way.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in the way that God has ordained for me to do it, because he said, listen, I took you through this journey.
Full circle.
I took you through this journey because you had to learn these things, right? To get to where I need you to be, because there are people that I need you to impact. There are people that I need you to touch. There are people that I need you to help, bro.
Yeah.
The train has not stopped. The train is still going, bro.
Yeah. And there's people that you've met along this journey, bro. Like that you say how you went around that circle. There's going to be so many people that you're going to go back and inspire, but help in real time and for real.
100%.
That you wouldn't have been able to help if you didn't meet them.
100%.
So you had to go there, bro. God had to bring you through all of that and bring you here, and now you're going to go back and help, bro.
What's crazy about it is that, you know, this being in this position now, it's forced me to again reach back into my network. Right?
Okay.
So, you know, this right here is such a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Everything you need literally is right in here. Your first 10 contacts, your first 20 contacts. I would put together a game plan to reach out to people and let them know, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing now, right? So if you are, let's use you for an example, right? You just started your photography business, right? And you're like, man, I don't know, where am I going to get clients from? What if you said, you know what, I'm going to find the top 20 clients that are in my phone book that I think that could potentially use my service and tap in with them. I'm going to call them. Hey, Brian, listen, man, I actually just transitioned. I'm starting my own business now, you know, as a photographer. I want to let you know that I'm here. If you need my services, let me know how I can be of any sort of help or resource to you. And if I can't be of help or resource to you, could you connect me to 1 or 2 people that you think could use my services? You've seen my work. You've seen what I've been able to do. Let me know how I can be of service, man. Yeah. You don't think that out of those 20 phone calls, something's going to, you won't get some sort of business out of that?
It got to. I think about like Spider-Man, right? You think about with great power comes great responsibility. And I just think that the space that we are in right now, and the responsibility and transition that you're coming from, and the responsibility that you have now, and the power that God has given you now, bro, I just want to just really like highlight that, like, you are each space, like we talked about that full circle.
Yeah, we did.
Like, I think that you were in each season of your life in different spaces, you were given a lot of power, and you handled it very humbly. I think that's humbly, right? You handled it very humbly. Yeah. And now the space that you're in, I'm excited to see that the heights and achievements that you make with finance.
Thank you.
And it's just inspiring, bro. I'm excited, bro. I'm just being transparent. I'm just excited to be like, yo, bro, I know somebody that looked like me, and I've seen this person grow from here to there and just start new, bro. Because to start new in something else, it's like it's easy. It would have been easy for bro. It would have been easy for you to stay the man right there.
Yeah.
But God strips you down and you walked into it with grace.
Yeah.
And I think that is so like commendable. I think that's really dope, bro. And I just thank you for taking the time to just come here, to just be a part of this, to just share your story, because you've never done it before, right?
Yeah, no, I've never done this before.
To just share the story.
It's my first time, man. I love it.
To take time away from the family, to be here, bro. I do not take it for granted.
Thank you, bro.
And before you go,
yes, sir.
Before you go, what I want to ask you is, because this is a safe space for unlearning, healing, and learning to love. So I want to ask you those three things throughout this journey up until this point, and maybe if it was in the last year, what's something that you've unlearned, that you've healed from, and are now able to love because of that?
Ask me that one more time.
What is something that you've unlearned, healed from, and now you are able to love it because you unlearned that and healed from that?
Oh, man, I would have to say, because also, too, I would have to say it's humility, man. I'm in therapy, you know, and I
shout out to you for being in therapy,
shout
bro.
out to, like,
me too.
My therapist, Gina. We have uncovered so much and unpacked so much, and everything that we've unpacked goes back to the space of humility. You know?
Shout out to therapy, bro.
You know, therapy is amazing, man, and it's crazy because, like, I feel like I'm a humble person, but you know, there's things that, like, I can continue to, you know, work on and be better at, right? But the base of it is always humility. Like, even again, you know, in this space that I'm in, like, the space that I'm in is, I have not been in this space for 30 years. You know, like some of my other counterparts, right? Like, who've been in this space for 30 years that are almost like masters in this space. Like,
it's new for you.
It's new for me. But then again, right? Like, I didn't know about tequila, right? I didn't know about how to in certain like how watches were made and all that thing when I was working with certain brands. But one thing I knew is that I knew how to take care of people. I knew how to make people feel good. Yeah. I knew how to connect, because I'm always a great connector, right? And so humility is one thing that has been at the forefront, thing that I'm learning. And then the other thing that I'm really, like, leaning on and healing from. Listen, I would say that humility is the thing that I'm healing from.
Wow. What does that healing from?
Because I'm healing from, like I said to you earlier, like, I'm healing from being at the highest level at one place. Yeah. To now being at, like, the bottom. Like, I'm starting from rock bottom here.
At a new place.
At a new place.
Okay.
Right? And so, like, that stings.
That's beautiful, bro.
I ain't gonna sit here.
That's
and be
beautiful,
like,
bro.
I ain't gonna be here and be like, yo, like, that feel like
I'm good.
Everything good. Like, nah, that stings. And every other day, I'm like, God, did I make the right move? Am I going in the right direction? Right? And so,
question it like Moses, like,
yo, man, I'm questioning it, man. Like, what's his name, man, in the Bible, who got eaten by the fish, man, the big old fish.
Oh, you talking about Noah?
No, not Noah.
No, not Noah.
God, I can't believe I don't.
He in there as a few.
Is it Jonah?
It might be Jonah. Got swallowed by the whale. By the well, and then he spit it back out. Yeah,
right. Because he got. Do you know that story? That whole story is because he was supposed to go. God told him to go somewhere that he didn't go to, and he went the completely opposite direction. Yeah. And like, he was on a boat, and basically, like, they were like, yo, what are you doing on this boat? Like the boat started to, like, go crazy, and they were like, "Yo, this boat never goes crazy." And they found out it was him who was on the boat that was making the boat go crazy. They threw him overboard. He got eaten by the fish. Thought that he was gonna die to be like, "I'm good."
Yeah.
And then God took him back to where he was supposed to be through the fish's mouth. So I feel like
Humbling.
it's such a humbling experience for me to, like, you know, be at the top of my game to now be at a place where I'm like, okay, you need to learn.
Yeah.
Like you need to learn. Like you really
need to learn.
You need to learn. Like, and not in a bad way, right? In a way that, like, again, is going to be beneficial for the journey, because again, the things that I'm learning are going to be the things that I need when God needs me to be in that place that I need to be at.
Yeah.
Right. And so even though I fight it, like, I don't want to learn this.
Yeah.
This is not what I like. I don't even know if this is what I really want to do.
It may not feel fly. It don't feel sexy.
Feel sexy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to things like flowing and feeling like right and feeling sexy. But like, I'm in a place where, like, I'm in my living room at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and studying, reading. I'm in a quiet place. You know what I'm saying? When I get off this podcast, I'm gonna go back to my house, like, and I got studying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this
sacrifice.
This is sacrifice, because, like, I told God what I wanted. And he's telling me, how bad do you really want it? It's already there for you. You got to get to the spot. Like, you got to take the steps to get to the spot to get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, bro. I thank you for I thank you for this entire conversation, because this is something that I've been excited about. You dropped so many gems, bro. You took time away from the family.
Thank you.
And I don't take it for granted. I'm excited. I'm excited to share this with the world.
This is going to be awesome.
I'm excited for the world to just hear your story, get to know Martel a bit more, because they may see you in different environments, but you were vulnerable in this space.
Yeah, man.
You were honest, transparent.
Yeah.
And I thank you, bro, for being a part of, the KEISHA'S Husband podcast, bro.
This has been a blessing.
And I'm excited to see where God takes you, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see where God takes us, and I'm gonna leave this right here for our viewers.
Leave it.
Play to your strength. Play to your strength. Right. Understand what God has already put inside of you. Right. What you're strong at. Play to your strengths. It's okay to not know everything. It's okay to have somebody teach you something new. Right? But take what you've learned and apply it to your strength, right? Because how much more deadly could you be with something that you are already good at, and something that you're learning, and something that you're getting better at, right? And then those two worlds come together. So play to your strength, right? And be open. Be open to the new opportunities.
Talk that talk.
Be open to what God puts in front of you. And here's the crazy thing, an amazing thing about God. What you pray for, God's going to give you the opposite of. It's not going to look like what you think it's going to look like. It is going to look like the complete opposite. And you have to be okay with that, because you know what? It's going to be better than what you could have ever imagined.
And on that, man.
Yes, sir.
On that note, I thank you, Martel.
Yes, sir, man.
I want to shout out to my son and Jizo.
Yes,
and I want
sir.
to thank you guys for tuning in to the 6th episode of the KEISHA'S Husband podcast.
Let me do that one time. Let me do that. Can I do that? Is it that like green button right there?
Like, green, push that joint. Push that joint.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yo, that's fire, bro. That's fire. It's lit, man. Thank y'all. Peace.
Peace.